to MagicCon Barcelona. We are about to have our first watch party here today on stage, so make sure you head on over. It's going to be really fun, and I have a lot of special guests here. We are going to be watching the best in the world play here in the Pro Tour Top 4. And speaking of the best, let's hear a clap for Mythical Invitational Champion, Andrea Mengucci. And also a very special company here, Pro Tour Champion Thoralf. Let's hear an applause for Thoralf. Welcome everyone. So the way this is going to work is that we are watching here the top 4 of the Pro Tour. We're going to be talking a bit and walking through the games, but we also have some special surprises, right, Mengu?
Yeah, we have been given a lot of collector boosters. I already, tweeted and posted on Instagram about them. So if you're here and you're loud, and I see you being loud, I can, go down and give you something. But Filipa, where are these boosters? I don't see them around.
I have them here, right next to me. And this box is pretty heavy, I'll let you know.
There's so many. This box is heavy. I'm not really a gym guy, as you can see, so I don't know, maybe Thoralf, what about you? Can you lift it?
No.
It's heavy, and it's full of collector boosters. And at the end of this show, it's going to be empty of collector boosters.
Yeah, unless you don't make any noise, because if you don't make any noise, we'll keep them.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay quiet, okay?
And if you're down there in the back, just want you to know that this is the place to be today, okay?
Yeah, make
Nobody's
sure
in
to
the
head
back.
on the main stage for this watch party. It's going to be really fun. And we are going to start with the first semifinals, which is already 1-1. And it's a mirror match. Thoralf, tell us a bit about the mirror match that we're about to watch.
Yeah. Some mirror matches are fun and very exciting, but this is Tron, and I love Tron. Tron is a very great deck. Mirror matches, sometimes a little bit difficult.
For those of you who don't know, Thoralf Severin over here won Pro Tour Barcelona 4 years ago with Tron.
Yes.
So I think this is the biggest Tron expert you can find out there, I think.
Yeah, and I wasn't competing, but I was also not too sad about it. But then when the people told me we're playing Tron, a lot of the people said we're Tron, and I was like, oh no, really, is it good again? Is it actually good again? And then they said yes, and obviously we had 3 in the top 8. It is good again, and yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, Tron was 3 in top 8. There was 9th, 10th, and almost all the big names, all the big teams brought Tron. So despite Tron has this idea of being kind of a luck deck, as I call it, just played by weaker players.
Excuse me?
I think it switched. Now it's just an excellent deck.
Now it's a luck deck with the greater player.
Yeah, I think it's a luck deck, but
No.
Mango, and speaking here of the top 8, I've heard 3 members of your testing team, the Worldly Council, made top 8 with different leg lists. How was the experience of this testing house?
Yeah, so again, despite not being qualified for the PT, I decided to join this testing house to hang out with friends, draft, to prepare for the Limited Open and the other events. And I also, of course, helped them a lot in Modern, as that's my favorite format. And it's difficult. Modern is a format where I believe there isn't really a right choice, and most likely, what you know best is going to be the right choice for you. So, for example, we see Dominic Harvey. He's playing Amulet, which is not really best position because it's a bad matchup against Cam, which is the most popular deck, but he's a master with it, and he brought all the way to the top 8. Top 4, actually.
Thoralf, Christian Kalkan versus Simon Nielsen is going to be the first top 4 match that we're going to see here. What do you think of these players?
Well, they're obviously one of the biggest names in the whole top 8, and they've been around since, I was a kid, I'm still a kid, but they've been around since I was remembering in GPs, and they've been so passionate and so enjoyable for all of this. I would like to see either one of the finals. I'm happy I see one of those in the finals. I'm happy to see one of the Tron decks in the finals. So for me, it's a win-win situation. no matter what happens.
And pretty impressive, Simon Nielsen back-to-back top 8, second top 8 in a row. And Christian Calcano actually is from America. He came to Europe, to Naples, qualified for the regional championship in Europe. Then he had to return to Athens to play it. So he came to steal our European spots, and he's doing so well now here on the Pro Tour, making the top 8. Another beloved player of the public, and you're also your friend, right, Mengu?
Of course, yeah. Basically, the reason why Cal came to Naples is because he wanted to hang out in Italy. A long time since he'd been in vacation, so he stayed at my house for a week. We practiced together, and then he's all the way here, and it all came from that one event in Italy.
Yeah, and the games are getting started. I want to see some shouting in here, our crowd. Who is rooting for Christian Calcano? Again,
all right,
Christian Calcano.
Let's. I'll say that guy. You over here win a.
So you say the loudest person gets a booster?
Yeah, I didn't say that, but he definitely looked loudest.
Who's for Simon Nielsen?
That guy there. What's your name? Gabriel, you win a collector booster from New Perexia.
Love
all right, guys.
the energy.
Some more rooting gear for Christian Calcano. Where are you from? Pedro, no. Where are you from? Brazil. Brazilian people root the hardest. Can you compete with Brazilian people for Simon Nielsen? Again. Down there. All right.
This is a bit mean to people who were at the party yesterday.
All right.
Shout for Simon.
The final 2. I have 2 more in my hands. Let's go for Christian Calcano. Down here. What's your name? Tom, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And finally, for Simon Nielsen.
Nice throw, Mango. We have a lot more of these to give. We are going to go on into the matches, then we'll do a bit more of display. So make sure you stay here in the main stage. We have a lot of collector boosters, but if you don't come, it's okay. We'll keep them in the end, so it's your choice. Tell me a bit, Thoralf, here about the match that we are already seeing, already started. So this is the 3rd game, right?
Yes, so they're 1-1 right now. That means we actually start in the sideboarded games. That means they actually have to take all the bad cards. They will put on some of the good cards from the sideboard. It's going to be a little more dense. You don't draw dismembers anymore. You draw the good cards. And it's all about, finding the great creator. There he is. This is the one thing you want to have in the first place because it gives you access to so many good cards from the sideboard. Liquidment decoding, one of the most important ones because it destroys the lands. You basically want you to have Tron and your opponent not to have Tron. Very easy.
Yeah, and I see here the list of our players, and they both running mono green with some differences. What is the main differences between these 2 decks?
So there's not much because you need to have the general base of playing the Tron lands and the payoff for it. And obviously you pay 4 of the ring and some Ulamogs and some of the cards. But the biggest difference is Calcano plays Giganta as a companion because he doesn't play Dismember, and all of the teams or the opposing team play Dismember, so can play Giganta. So I'm interested in if Giganta actually has a difference. I assume not in this matchup because it's a very high impact. I play my big threat, you play your big threat, and then a 5-5 really doesn't do it. But against other matchups, maybe in the finals, against Scam, it could be quite important.
Yeah, nice. I'm excited to see that and to see our other semi-final right after this one. Mengu, what do you think of this board state and the companion Giganta? Is it your favorite or do you have another favorite?
So I see Calc laughing about it, and I think because he just missed on a land to crack his Stone Brain, that is what went on here. Very unfortunate, because Calc could have taken it's his turn 3, he goes, turn 2, Stone Brain, the one off from the sideboard, and then on turn 3, he wanted to go Steerings, find a land, crack the Stone Brain, but didn't happen, and bricked on land. So despite being on the play, he's basically Simon stole the draw with the Talisman and with Calc missing the land drop. So I would say the advantage bar is for Simon right now.
Yeah, we see definitely Also, some of the differences, the Talisman is a one-off that is going to be very important because it allows you to play Karn on 3. But also we see Ursa Saga, which gives a little bit more stability on finding the actual Tron lens, which we have some numbers on the Tron results, and it was positive, like people in the Pro Tour played positive with Tron, but especially the list from the team of Simon Nielsen has an enormously better win rate, about 70%, which is absurd, with the lists of Talisman, Saga, Dismembers. Yeah.
And we see their card, the Great Creator, being played. How important is this card in the matchup?
It's everything. You want it. It's the one thing you want. You get coding. We saw Simon wish for coding. Once you have that, you can start destroying your opponent's lands each turn, and I mean, then it's already over. And yeah, it's just you can destroy your opponent's stuff. It's a play you have.
But did you know, Filipa and viewers, that when Thoralf, you won the Pro Tour 4 years ago, you did not play Karn the Great Creator?
No, everybody
What changed? What changed since then? Why is it now like such an important piece that it wasn't there for 4 years ago?
One thing's changed.
Okay.
One ring changed.
Oh.
Because yeah, it turns out if your opponent can't activate the best card in the format, then it's quite good for you. And it has some niche applications mainly, but the format got a little bit slower also with Modern Horizons 2 cards because you have so many free effects that stop your opponent from like winning fast. So a lot of the decks got slower, a little bit less burn and all of the aggressive decks. So that means you have more room for playing Karn and getting the cards and playing the cards.
And Thoralf, you won here 4 years ago, so it kind of feels funny that you're here back 4 years, and now we are watching the semifinals, Tron versus Tron. What changed in Tron in 4 years besides the rink?
Not much actually. Like it is. If you know Dredge has this thing that when nobody respects it, it's very good. But if they respect it, then all the sideboard hate is like present and you don't play it anymore. So it's like this curve. And Tron is a bit of the same because the cards against Tron are very powerful. You have Blood Moon, we saw Obsidian Claw from Pete in the top 8. There are so many good cards if you want to have access to them, but if they don't respect Tron, they don't have them, and then your game plan is just out of the park.
And we saw there AY Might. This card is fairly new, right?
Yes.
And why is it playing here in this deck?
Because you can fetch it with Karn the Great Creator. You didn't have really good answers against enchantments or artifacts. I had to play for Natural State, I think it's the card that destroys and gives for life, because that's the only way you got rid of some of the cards, like Blood Moon specifically, or Dampening Spear. A lot of the time Dampening Spear was just over the game, and yeah, now you can fetch it with Karn, and that's very good.
We are ready here for our next game.
Ooh, Simon Nielsen won.
Yeah.
Who here is a fan of Simon Nielsen?
Let's give us some March of the Machine packs this time. I got 6. Come on, everyone, start screaming for Simon. Next one. Let's go. Game 4.
Keep rooting for your favorite players because we have much more to give during this viewing party. Be careful. Stay safe. Nobody said Magic was a game for the weak.
Yeah, no. Beware of random boosters.
We got a question by that man in the yellow t-shirt, and he asked, when do you side in Time Stone Brain versus when do you keep it in the Wish sideboard?
Usually it's about time. You want to assess if the time that you have for casting Karn, wishing for it, and then using it is better than just drawing it and applying it. And I think especially when you're on the play, you can afford to have it in the sideboard, and when you're on the draw, you want to cast it on 2 or 3 to prevent your opponent from doing the good stuff. Depends also a lot if you have a lot of cards to side out. If you feel like your sideboard cards are a bit better than the main deck cards, you sideboard in some of the artifacts.
So we see Simon starting with Basic Forest. If they teach you something about Tron, and they teach you to don't do it, do you think, I didn't see it, did he mulligan? Yeah, I guess he mulligan very low, right? He has very few cards in hand right now.
I think that was more of a, like, I hope to find like a Haywire Might or an Answer, a Stone Brain. He does have Tron pieces in hand, so because he probably also doesn't have payoffs, his idea is that he doesn't go Tron into Tron into Tron and then do something with the 7 mana because there's nothing to do with it, so he's looking for something to interact.
And we saw on the previous game that Simon was pretty much dominating. Usually this happens in the mirrors of Tron, like one player just completely dominates over the other one.
Once you get ahead, there's almost no way to get behind again. In the old days, it was like the 3 mana Karn. If you play Karn on the play, you just won. There was nothing. You exile a land, another land, you have Tron, and they don't. Nowadays, it goes a little bit longer. Like if they play Karn the Great Creator, you can sometimes play a longer game if you find Tron cast the bigger stuff. But it's not a quick game. There's not much science to the Tron, I have to say.
And being on the play, a great advantage in this matchup?
I would give it at least 5% to be on the play.
All right, Calc is on exactly the same spot as the previous game. Crazy. Exactly the same cards. Does he find a land in the top 5 this time around?
It doesn't look like he's very happy with it.
He already has some in hand. So, but like they're not great. Like Forest, Urza's Tower, you kind of want to find like a mine or a power plant so you can crack the map. We'll see. But like it's kind of funny that he had the same exact start as the previous game.
And you're a friend with Calc. Was he afraid for any specific matchup coming here today in the top 8?
I think Amulet Titan is by far the worst matchup in this top 8 for Tron. We've seen Dominic Harvey quickly dismantling Javier Dominguez 3-1. I guess not that quickly, but 3-1. And that's definitely like Dominic really wish to win his semifinals and face either of these two people. So, yeah.
And they're already qualifying for Worlds. Top 8 of this tournament qualified for Worlds. Speaking of people that are qualified for Worlds, I see one here, at least one here on our stage, Marcio Carvalho over there. Congrats on that World invitation.
Anyone else qualified for Worlds among our viewers? Willie! Woo!
Woo! Applause!
Andre.
He deserves an applause.
Stand
Come
up,
on,
stand up.
energy.
Stand up. Congrats, congratulations. Oh, Toffo, how did you qualify for Worlds?
So that was the semifinals.
Oh, but which? Who did you beat in the semifinals?
It was a bye.
No, it wasn't.
So funny story, right? And we played in the Swiss, and Andrea was like passing the turn, and I had the Heroes Plaza with the Legend. I was thinking like, are you a maniac? Like you shouldn't pass, but you have to play your removal cell before untap. And then I was thinking, and I did the worst line possible because I gave him credit for thinking. And then in the end, he told me it's like, oh, I didn't even know the land does that or whatever.
But then in the top 4, I knew it.
Yeah,
and I still didn't play around it.
Oh,
it's okay. Next time. What's going on with these 4 Urza's Tower? Are they gone?
So when you're 4 Urza's Tower at the same place on the battlefield, you're usually not very happy.
No,
they're usually just there and then gone forever.
Yeah. So Simon Nielsen is never achieving Tron this game.
It's huge.
That's not over.
It's huge.
That's not over. We've seen Calc not caring about that, but just going for Ulamog in the first game and kind of thinking, well, you can still win even without Tron.
Yeah, but if your opponent is able to get Tron, if you have Ulamogs, if you have access to like Karn and make instantly the big spell that you get from it, I wouldn't put my bets on Simon at this point.
Thoralf, I was a big fan on advantage bar, so since you're the specialist on Tron, what is the advantage bar here for this
Calc
one?
is winning. Like, there's no payoff for Simon anymore because it takes 5-6 turns until something relevant happens. There's not even a Karn the Gradiator in the hand. He can stall some. There's a Buseju, which is nice, but you see he already mulliganed with an Ulamog in the hand. Oblivion Stone isn't too exciting because it's basically just a glorified fog. Calc is winning.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we are on game 4 here, which means that right now Simon Nielsen is 2, Cristian Calcano is 1. If Cristian Calcano wins, we are going to have a game number 5. But if Simon wins this, then it's over and Simon moves on into the finals.
The finals of the Pro Tour. Yes, Simon last PT, I believe, came top 4, I believe. And,
he played against Autumn, but I don't know exactly where it was.
Anyway, yeah, so Simon just, what a What a great...
Is he the greatest player of all time? No, because there's like Nathan winning something. It's always like, oh, somebody top 8s 2 in a row. Are they the greatest player?
I mean,
maybe.
It's all about moment. You know, Magic is a game that you just stop playing for a year and you just, you know, you're much behind than other people that are playing daily. So Simon and his team, Team Handshake, are definitely putting amazing performances in all these events, putting at least 2 people in the top 8. Although I would say that having Javier Dominguez in your team kind of puts you ahead in the in the like having a person in the top 8 at every event.
Javier builds the Tron deck, right?
Yeah, Javier loves Tron. He's a Tron fan number 2. I said number 2.
I can feel it.
Speaking of testing teams, Mengu, I know you're part of one. We talked about it. It went super well. What happens in a testing team? Because I've never been in one. I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
You just play Magic all day?
So my top priority was to get a house, a villa with a swimming pool. That was my top priority. I said, if you guys get a house with a swimming pool, I'm joining the testing team. Otherwise, I don't know. For Chicago, I heard is it very cold? Is it true? Anyone from the Chicago area? Is it cold in February? All right, so I'm not joining the testing house in Chicago. No.
Your contributions are only during the summer season.
Yeah. The summer PT though, I'm ready. No, yeah, jokes aside, plenty of drafts, and then a lot of what happens in the testing house is actually behind the scene. It's like in the Discord group, just players, testing against each other, getting to finalize the deck list, and then once we're there, it's very important to do the in-person drafts. I think that is what the testing team have an edge on these days, because most people just draft on Arena or Magic Online, and the metagame is much different than playing with 7 other people. So everyone, for example, in these drafts was like, oh, I'm gonna force Grixis colors, but you nobody can force the same 3 colors in a pod. So I think that our team did exceptional in Limited, and I think it was mostly because we had the chance of drafting a lot in real life. I think that's what gives an edge these days.
You also did pretty well in Limited too yesterday. You were playing a tournament, you did top 8 or top 32. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I should have 3-0'd the last draft to qualify for the PT, but I lost the first round. So.
Yeah, but you still did very well, and it goes to show that testing Limited really paid off. I saw that Simon here took a long time to make a decision. What Thoralf do you think he was thinking of?
Simon realizes his only way of winning the game is through that construct token. So he's thinking if he wants to make another one with the Saga before it goes into the graveyard, and now he decided, well, apparently he doesn't want the second token and rather wants to use the mana for stuff in his hand. I think I would have done the token. Like, the only way you're winning is you try to win quickly, because Calcano is having the mana advantage, is having the advantage of getting there, but I think he wanted to get like the lands for Beseju and then try to disrupt and hope that Calcano just doesn't get Tron and he gets to play, I don't know, the Karn. I don't know. Like this, you're in this percentage of the game where you think like, I don't even think what I'm doing matters that much, so I'm trying to find the best line, and sometimes that's a good state to be in, because you're looking for outs that you have.
I'm looking at the basic lands.
Yeah.
Because that's always an important topic for commentators. So Simon Nielsen, I know this because I tested with him in the past, he loves the Time Spiral basic lands. He always plays with Time Spiral basic lands. And I don't think I've heard anyone else ever just playing with Time Spiral basic lands. And I wonder even why. If Simon wins the PT, I hope the commentator's first question is, why do you always play with Time Spiral basic lands?
He's playing Tron. That's not the question I would make. Like, he's already making some decisions. I'm not a Tron fan, but obviously doing it amazing. And we see here, who is a fan of Tron in our crowd?
Wait. We can do that better. Who's a fan of Tron? Can I just walk with this?
And who is not a fan of Tron?
I'd give a bigger prize to the haters than the lovers.
I'm going to do that again.
This is Lord
Tron. Okay.
This is Lord of the Rings collector booster, by the way. Tron.
Yeah. Yes,
so lesson learned, if you want to get something for free from TOEFL, you have to sit in the front rows.
No.
Because he doesn't want to walk behind there.
No, I just can't watch that
That's a
far.
lesson. Plenty of space here.
Okay, you can.
Thoralf, I want you to give some also for the people that don't root for Tron. Who doesn't like Tron?
You're not getting anything anymore.
Again, who doesn't like Tron?
How quickly the Titans say, you're all buyable by boosters.
Who doesn't like Tron?
Who doesn't like
I have two more. Who doesn't like Tron?
That's the same people.
Who doesn't like Tron over here? I want to see.
I will remember your names. If I ever play Commander with you, you're not trustworthy. Ridiculous.
All right, Toffel. What about this game? Is Simon ever coming back?
No. I mean, oh yes, this is very exciting and lots of things can happen. No, I mean,
You know, that's kind of the problem with Magic commentary, right? You're forced to keep talking about the game and if the game is over.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we're not, you know, over there with the
ties,
ties,
the official things.
We are here just having a chat with our friends over here, and you know, we can talk about anything. For example, Toffel, let's talk about something important in our life: food.
Yes.
Have you eaten any, you know, Spanish food? I've seen you in that very good Spanish place yesterday.
Tapas bar, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
What was more important there, the drinks or the food?
For me, the drinks.
Okay, but no, actually, let's keep on talking about the food.
Because you're coming from like a whole day of being in the room and you just want to relax a little, and then you just take some sangria.
What about Filipa? Do you think the Spanish food is better than the Portuguese food?
Oh.
You're making me. Come on, Mengu. I thought we were friends. I love both. I can tell you something. So I brought a lot of clothes here for all the days, and my idea was on the first day to wear this new pair of pink pants. But I ate so many tapas that they literally didn't fit when I arrived here. So that's how much I love Spanish food.
Speaking of pants, Toffel, you have some like very nice shorts over there.
Yeah.
Where did you get them?
Well, I got them from the shop there.
Hashtag sponsored. Not actually.
They also have shirts, but I think they're sold out. But I can see they still have the shorts. The fabric is very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. This game is still going, so we have to come up with something else.
What is happening here in this board state, Thoralf?
Well, So Simon is doing his best, and you always have to appreciate somebody who fights. And obviously in Magic, generally, if you play a tournament, nobody's stopping you really from using your time if you have a lot of it. Like sometimes in a real game, maybe when you have 50 minutes, you would consider like, maybe I don't have to win this game, but in the top 8, there's no time limit. You don't have stress. You can try whatever you want. There's just no downside of using whatever you get, even if it's like 0.1%. So Simon's trying his best against the odds, I have to say.
Yeah, Calc didn't get Tron, founded, but he got Bozejut, so now he's just R-casting Karn Liberated.
Yeah, also a big difference. I think Kark plays 2 Karns, which is huge in this matchup. As I said, if you play Karn first, especially on turn 3, there's no way you're going to lose. You have 100% won the game. And if you only play 1, like Simon does, that makes it's twice the number of coins, you know?
Yeah, I want to also shout out that Calc is playing my physical copy of Tron. That's cool. He was playing the whole day with like the deck box labeled Tron, because it's open deck list. So if you sit down with the deck with the name on it, that's just the one I gave him. So it was cool.
Those Euroforce are yours?
No, actually, he changed the whole mana base because he didn't like my Italian mismatching all the Tron lands.
That's what I did. I also had.
Yeah.
I even had white border Tron lands.
Yeah, and he bought those one you see, and then also he changed the Euro Forest. So,
yeah, very very good for
very good choice. Yeah, for sure. Much better than Time Sparrow one.
Mengu, I see that you've been testing with them. You didn't play, but if you would play this tournament modern, what deck would you bring?
That's a very difficult question because I think that if you qualify for the PT, you have to test a lot. Modern, and I just simply didn't do that. Although metagame wise, I really liked Rhinos. That's what I suggested and again gave to my friend, my roommate Marco Del Pivo, who top 8'd this event going X1 in Modern. So I think that Teamer Rhinos was a fantastic choice for the weekend. It had an amazing win percentages, both the Teamer and the 4-color Rhinos. So, but again, it's Modern, so it's ever changing. So Rhinos was an amazing choice for this weekend alongside with Tron. But guess we don't know what happens next weekend.
It's always a snapshot.
And what is your favorite Modern deck? So not the one that is well positioned right now, but your favorite Modern deck.
All right. Toffel said to say Tron, but I'm not going to do that. I am a big fan of Blue-Red Murktide, guys. And who else here loves Blue-Red Murktide? I'm gonna only give one booster because I've seen a guy over there standing up even before I said it. So, are you also a Blue-Red Murktide fan? Yes.
Thoralf, I'm not going to ask you the same question because we already know.
So I just brought
That's
one,
okay.
so go for it.
I can still say it.
We know it's Tron.
I know Andrea before he liked Tron. He was a different human being. He was like you. He said like Tron is the worst deck. How can anybody ever play it? It's like, and then over time, that's why I think there's still hope for you. Like I think you can come around. You can on the good side.
I mean, I am a pretty bad Magic player. If I have to like Tron to be better, I'll like Tron. Honestly, if I get this good at playing Magic, I'll start liking Tron.
So people say Tron is a luck deck, which is not wrong. Like you have to draw your piece at some point, but it really gives you a very high bar of like entering without a lot of knowledge on a certain like amount of winning. You will win a lot of your games just because you play Tron and you don't need to know much of it. But playing Tron correctly is about a little percentages make on your decisions. When do you use the map? What do you mulligan? And a lot of this is very hidden because you have to calculate what you can draw from your deck, how many threats do I have, which one do I play first, and this is where the people get the real advantage.
And like 15 minutes ago, we talked about an advantage bar, and it was very inclined for Christian Calcano, but right now, what do you think? Still like that? Why didn't the game end yet?
No, obviously there's some chance, and I'm a bit over-exaggerating, it's over, but it still takes a lot of time to win, especially when your opponent doesn't have Tron or just casts Ulamog and can attack and exile the cards, or just change like a huge ballista. We saw that Christian just didn't have Tron and still doesn't have Tron until now. So he's still limited in this. And yes, you could say like both have Tron, so the game's equal, but we see Simon has way too few lands for this. The amount of like using the cards is not just there, and Calcano now uses the Karn for another time, gets something cool out of the sideboard, maybe a walking ballista that clears the battlefield.
Calc is minus in Karn, and it depends because we don't know how he sideboarded. Because Cityscape Leveler, it's like a very good pickup here, but maybe he sided in, I don't know.
I'm not sure what the exact approach from any of the teams is. I would assume Leveler is staple in the sideboard because it's a natural way to get it from the sideboard once you played Karn, which happens before. This is engineered explosives.
Which is gonna kill so many stuff in this board.
Basically everything from Simon's board except for the map,
Even Calc's board state though.
So I don't know if you've played, that's coding, if you've played chess a little, if you're winning, then a lot of the thing becomes like clearing the board so much that you can win easily. And I think that's what Calcano is going to do. He just says, I know I'm winning. I just want to win quickly and I want to not mess anything up for you to get into the game. So I'm playing explosives for 0. I will crack to kill all your board. Now you lose one of the lands. And
also remember that Simon cannot activate map or ballista because of the Grid Creator. And again, we've been joking about this game be over for 10 minutes, but I think now it's like...
This is one of the best spots you can be.
Right?
It's one of the best spots you can be.
It's not over until it's over, but it's over.
I would say if you go to Simon and ask like, is it over, he would say, yes, it's over.
Probably like if you have a timer, you would just jump into the next game, but since there's no time in these top 8, players just play out the deck.
You can try. I mean, it takes a really incredibly colossal amount of work for Christian to lose it.
Yeah, remember, in my Magic career, definitely giving up some games where maybe I had like 0.5 chances of winning just because there's a timer. You have 50 minutes to end a match of Magic. So, if the first game is already like 15 minutes deep, you want to concede and move to the next ones. But again, we're untimed here, and also, this is the top 4 of the Pro Tour. It's fine if Simon doesn't want to concede, you're not holding him.
Well, I mean, for all what we know, it's more time for us to talk about something.
That's definitely true, yeah.
Both these players are very experienced. We know their names. We know they're good. Do you still get nervous when you go into a top 4, even though you already made multiple top 8s in tournaments like this?
Me personally, no, I would say. I kind of try to get as relaxed as possible. That's what keeps me focused, honestly. Just being chilled and not too much stressed. I mean, sometimes I'm stressed in the winning in for my PTQ yesterday. Was a very high stressful game, I felt, because I was we were both playing super fast because we were on timer, and I had a million decisions in a game of sealed, and I was very stressed there, but so it depends. I think that anxiety is much different for everyone, and the stakes are truly something big. But also, I think that playing against Calc is much more. I don't know. I was happy. It's always great to play against Calc.
If your opponent is nice, you definitely reduces a lot of the stress.
Exactly. That's
both
true.
of them make you feel comfortable. I've played against both of them. You feel like you're playing a match, and it sounds a bit surreal. But once you're at the table and playing, you forget about all of this and you focus in on what you have to do. And then very quickly you lose the meaning of it.
Yeah, for sure. The more competitive the players are, it's kind of it's not intuitive, but the more competitive the players are, the more nicer and just they give you a better experience at the game. They're clear, they make you feel it's fine. It's all gonna be fine. It's not. I don't try to just pressure you into making a play or things like that.
It's always nice to have a good opponent, and sportsmanship is very important. You might see these two players because you're going to Vegas, right, to play.
Yeah.
Are you going to also visit Vegas, Mengu, just for the experience and see your friends?
Now, I've been to Vegas plenty of time, and honestly, if I don't ever go there anymore, I'm not going to be upset. I don't really like that city that much. The thing that I hate the most is the weather. It's crazy to me that outside is the desert, and inside you have to wear a scarf and a sweatshirt. To me, that I just hate that so much. I see a lot of people complain about the weather in Spain and etc. But to me, this is perfect.
To me, it's perfect too. People were saying that in Europe there's not enough air conditioners, but I always feel fine. So I think I'll be super cold in America.
Yeah, it's super cold. Make sure to always bring a jacket and a scarf. I have a lot of picture with the scarf, but mostly because every event I played, it was in America, and where it's I don't know why it's so cold inside.
So that's the origin story of how you started wearing this iconic. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
It's explained now. What about you, Thoralf? What is your favorite city in America that you visit to play Magic?
We played Worlds in San Francisco. That was really good. Some city are
Honolulu. Must be Honolulu.
Hawaii, yeah.
Honolulu is still America.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I did not connect that. Yeah.
That's one of the best places on earth. So to me, it's always the answer.
This is where Magic gets you. At least I was 3 times in Hawaii, and all 3 of them because of Magic tournaments.
Yeah, we were to Worlds together. The 2020 Worlds, where Wizards just was so great. They did all the cool party with all the Hawaiian things, and honestly, one of my best memory of the game. Ooh, the game is over! Cal, no. Ooh. It's already game 5 anymore. We don't have any breaks to just...
Yeah, this is professional. We get the cuts already going into the action.
Yeah, we see Simon already on the play and Calc Mul 2-5 I saw. So, the advantage bar is already towards Simon even before the game started.
Yeah, being on the play is huge. Just a quick check, we see 2 Tron lands. So it's not quite there yet, but you still have a few draw steps with the star and the thing. If you... That was a Sylvan scrying, so that means with the green from the star, you will get to have Tron next turn.
But he doesn't have a second Tron land, does he? Yeah, he just has Urza Saga.
Oh, well, it's an Urza.
It's a wrong Urza land.
Oops. Okay. Well, that means he still has Tron in theory, because he will get to fetch the map from the saga eventually.
But he's going to have it on turn 4, whereas Kalk has it on turn 3.
Is it guaranteed? Or is power plant? Or is tower and map? Yes, that's guaranteed.
But there's a Boseiju, so the game is open. There's no advantage bar right now.
Yeah, also one of the things, when I played, we didn't have Boseiju, so people couldn't destroy Tron lands, but also you didn't run it yourself. There's a lot more...
Yeah, you used to play Ghost Quarter back in the days.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but there was Ghost Quarter, and there was always like this gamble thing of, if my opponent has 2 lands, do I want to really destroy it because you lose the land, and you give them a forest.
The land drop.
It felt bad either way, but you felt like, okay, you had to do it. The same thing with Boseiju, only that it doesn't destroy your lands, but you never feel really good for having to Boseiju your opponent.
I'm a fan of these channel lands. Is Boseiju your favorite? Otawara? They all see a lot of play in different formats. Mengu, what is your favorite channel land, and what do you think of these lands?
It's Otawara because I play Blue and Murktide.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, you can bounce like an Ensnaring Bridge, which is sometimes just lights out, or you can bounce a big Murktide Regent, which doesn't see that much play anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, it's very cool. But one of the things that, this like quick cut to the mulligan cut, I think from the viewer's experience is the which-handed mulligan, which-handed Kalk mulligan. Because mulligan and with Tron, I feel it's actually the most skill-intensive part of playing the deck.
To a sense that it's the most important, yes, but I would argue you can basically build a computer program like an algorithm that tells you which cards to keep.
But you can't use it during the game.
No, but you can make it up yourself. Like, if you show me a hand, I can give you 5 rules when to keep it. You could follow them, and you'd be very, very good. But which is not true with other things. But you have to know those, because if you keep the wrong lands, again, it's about very small percentages. Sometimes you have to keep 2 Tron lands, and you have to hope you draw either one of the outs. You get there.
In 2019, we had the London Mulligan.
That was huge.
Did that change how Tron is and like how strong it is? Because it feels like it's one of those decks that really needs to mulligan, and it could improve the deck.
Yeah, before it wasn't really a competitive deck. In London, we started with the mulligan. That resulted in Hayne making top 4 of the Pro Tour. Then the next Modern Pro Tour was Barcelona, which was won by Tron. Then the next one, which is this one, is Tron being again on the top. Thankful to this mulligan. When I played, I won multiple games with a mulligan to 3, because that's all you need. Your 3 lands, you need to have 1 payoff that you draw, and it's very capable of doing that.
All right, so Simon here is deep in the tank because he has a lot of decisions to make. He could go Sylvan's Crying with a Talisman, go grab a Forest, and then go Boseiju, which is the intuitive line. But obviously, a game of Magic at the stage, you want to consider all the options because, again, there are 6 cards in his hand, and Sylvan's Crying can search for so many options. So let's see what Simon decides to do. Again, he's been thinking about it for a while, and
yeah, you always have the tension of, do you want to disrupt or further your game plan? Yeah. And being behind on this decision feels so bad.
So sometimes in a game of Magic, you have an intuitive play. You open your hand, you be like, all right, the play here is Sylvan's Crying, get Forest, Boseiju.
Right.
But we're watching some professionals, and they obviously immediately thought of the intuitive line, just like maybe you thought of the intuitive line immediately. But why are they thinking then? Because you have to think about, wait, are there other lines to make? So you just spend an extra minute, again, these matches are on time, to think about other better and possible options.
I see new people have joined, so let's just take a recap. We are here on game 4 of the first semifinal. 5 of the, thank you, just see if you're paying attention. Game 5 of the first semifinal, then we have a second one, and then the finals. And this is for all these players are already qualified for the World Championship because top 8 is getting access to that in Las Vegas, and we are commentating on that and also giving some sweet prizes. Who already has won some prizes?
All right, if the bag was kind of heavy at the beginning, but now it's starting to half, so we need to go a little bit slower.
Yeah, slower.
Or we ask wizards for more.
Yeah, they can bring us more.
Yeah, we need more energy consistently. You have to make the show happen so we can keep giving them out.
Yeah, at the end of this game, I want some like big cheers for whoever wins, because this is the show. You guys are making the show. We're here, but
the goal is that the people who are not here are wondering why it's so fun here and not there.
Exactly. All right, so the play happened, Simon, when Steven's crying for forest, Bazeju the land, and now it's time for Kalk to go deep in the tank with his American hat covering his face entirely to hide the poker. No, I can't say it.
Yeah.
The highs.
No, it was. Kalkana had a clear plan, right? He had Tron, and now he was just disrupted in his clear game plan, so he has to reassess how to go further. And since it involves a lot of chances, you have Ancient Stirrings and Chromatic Sphere. It's not very determined how to go along with your game plan, because you will have to rely on what you see on those cards from your deck. And oh, that's a tower, but
no.
Fortunately, tower is already there.
Okay, so you saw that Simon destroyed the power plant over tower. Thoralf, can you explain to the viewers at home, and actually here, I used to do viewers at home, to the viewers here, why is it correct to destroy the power plant over the tower?
You want the tower to stay, because if they spend mana on getting to the tower, then they would get 3 mana by playing it last. So if the tower is on the battlefield, they can only get the mine and the power plant as the last land, and that would only create 2.
Exactly.
There are sometimes ways you want to defer, especially when your opponent's shown that they don't have any land multiple times, or you know that they're somewhere else in the library, then you can go for that, because the advantage is kind of minimal, and you would always want to have your opponent's the least chance to get to Tron.
Yeah, it's the rule, so obviously there's exception to the rule,
Yes.
but the rule is if you have to destroy a land between a mine and a tower, and you have no other informations, you go for the mine.
Yes.
You don't go for the tower.
We have some Christian Calcano here, fans on the stage. I see that we have here the cards in hand, which is also really nice. It helps us out. And just how I said that it disappeared, I swear they are making it on purpose. And we saw that Simon has the 2 cards. So Karn, the Great Creator, we are seeing here, and Karn, the Liberator. Do you prefer the big Karn or the small Karn? Which one is your favorite?
Personally, or for the game?
For the game and personally.
Yeah, I mean, they already assessed that the big card isn't really a card up to date anymore. You can have one, but really drawing multiples. Even back then when we played it, we were kind of like, maybe we only want to play 3, because it's just not like that exciting if you draw it like so late in the game. It's only 1 permanent you can handle. Personally, I think the 7 mana one is just a flavor win in like so many ways.
I see. Did you see that Kalk has in the Urza's power plant?
Yes.
Simon doesn't know that. So there's Tron coming out for Kalk, hidden, I believe.
So that, because now if you play the Karn the Great Creator, that shuts off the star, and if you say, oh, this survives 1 more turn, I can get coding, start destroying the lands. But Kalk would be 1 step ahead and actually have the Tron already.
Yeah. Urza's
And,
Saga,
and then he can cast Karn.
of course. Urza's Saga in Tron is kind of weird because it's basically like a gemstone mine.
It's a 2-off also. Like, I've never thought that Urza's Saga is
Yeah.
like a 2-off card.
It's a gemstone mine because you use it 3 times and
Yeah.
then it dies.
Yes.
Thor, if you remember when we played some games for fun with old formats like 1996 decks,
Yes.
and I had Gemstone Mine in
Yeah.
my deck, how bad it was. And obviously Urza Saga is not as bad as Gemstone Mine. Of course, it's getting him like a map probably here, but
Yeah, you can
losing a land drop is not great.
It's not important for the deck.
You lose the ability to be on the play basically now.
Yeah, but as soon as you have Tron, it doesn't matter anymore.
true.
There are not many decks that make you force a long game. Like Jund was a deck where you play a long game, blue-white control. Right now it's really a lot about the tempo, and the Saga just gives stability, some blocking with tokens. It just gets you to the point where you can have the Tron. That's why they also don't want to draw multiples and play only 2, because they only want to have 1 to get to the map and not lose all the lands later, because your land drop is Urza lands and not a Saga.
And we see here the expedition map. How important is this card here?
Well, now we are at the phase where Calcano is casting a card.
Calcano.
So there's this state. You have 2 Urza lands. Your opponent casts a Karn. You lose 1 of your Urza lands. That means you don't get to the 3 Urza lands. That means you pass again. Then your opponent still has a Karn. You can see how that is a bit problematic for one of the sides. Yeah, and this is exactly showcasing what will happen here.
No.
Kalkan.
Should I not be biased? How does it work? What are the rules?
You are biased?
No.
You are really I didn't notice.
I didn't know if.
I'll start Simon. So then it gets a bit more balanced. I mean, to be fair, both of these players are beloved from the public. I think that's.
Of course, I'd love to
both
root
of them,
for Simon, but unfortunately, it's a game of 1 versus 1.
Yeah.
You have to take a side, and only 2 Karn liberated. And this is honestly much better than Karn the Great Creator right now. Because, can blow up a land, which Karn the Great Creator...
And there's no way to get rid of it. You cannot... It just stays on the battlefield.
Bolt.
Yeah, exactly. So now you get Piffing Needle. That actually is in the sideboard. So
yeah, but he doesn't have 5 lands next turn.
He only has 4 lands. Yes, exactly. The problem is now Calcano wants to spend a lot of time to get Simon off Tron because Karn, once it ticks up, can tick down twice again. So once you cast your Briseo now, or the Liquament Decoding, so you can get the other, like the Karn the Great Creator, then you're very satisfied to spend 1 more turn, and then Karn multiples, like minuses twice. That will be over. Like this, there's not much really to get out of this situation.
But like Simon has Karn in hand. If he had not played Urza Saga, but had another land, it would have gone Karn Needle.
True. In this case, Urza Saga matters.
You can see I'm an Urza Saga hater right here.
But he also got the other Tron land because of the Saga map. So
yeah, but like he has so many cards in hand, I'm sure that he has Ancient Steerings. And
if you want to have the trade-off between having 5 lands guaranteed or more likely Tron, you probably go for Tron, especially on the play.
I mean, definitely, if you're a Tron player out there and you're net decking PT Topater's list, you have to wonder, should I net deck the list with 2 Urza Saga or the one with 0? Because, Filipa, correct me if I'm wrong, Calc plays 0 Urza Saga, right? I believe so, because I didn't land him any, so...
yeah,
Unless he
I
bought
don't
it.
see any, so...
Yeah. So this is definitely... not that many main deck building decision in Tron, but I think this is the most important one.
So the 2 ways to see of it. We know that the team from Simon had a much higher win rate. It was like absurdly big. But if Calcano wins the Pro Tour, I assume a lot of the people will be more likely to build that version of Tron. So if you play against your modern meta game against Tron, I would more likely to assume that they play Calcano's list instead of the list that had like over the Pro Tour field the win rate. But you also said modern changes next week.
For sure.
Any list could be better.
Another big difference is the companion. Calc has Giganta, whereas Simon has Dismember.
Yes. Both are irrelevant in this matchup, I would say. But depending on what you expect on a meta game, you can make that educated decision.
And one of the cards of the weekend that I see here in end for Simon is the One Ring. After watching this Pro Tour all weekend, Thoralf, do you think it's worth it to bring the ring in this matchup or in Tron in general?
Yeah, the ring is incredible. You can spend your time not dying, but also drawing cards. It's a bit problematic that Tron is usually a deck that has a lower life total because you get attacked a lot in the early stages, so the damage does matter a lot. But you also have quite some reasonable ways to get rid of it. If you wish it from your sideboard, you can replace it. It's a very good blocker with Karn the Great Creator, so it stays. It's just so good.
Yeah, remember when the ring came out in Lord of the Ring, the Tales of Middle-earth, tried it in 4-color Omnath. At the beginning, everyone was so hyped about it. But then I tried it in Tron, and I'm like, this is the best card I added to Tron since, I don't know, Karn.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. And I think one of the big reasons why Tron is able to fight Blood Moon and all the hate from mid-range decks, it's thanks to the ring, which, your opponent disrupts your way to get Tron, but you still tap 4 mana, get that, draw 3 cards, the next Fog and draw 3 cards. So you immediately find the replacement Tron land, and then you just win out with it. So I think one of the bigger reasons for Tron success is definitely the One Ring. So I would say that if you're a Tron player, definitely that you play set.
Nice, and we see here Simon running that and having it on the deck and on the end. Thoralf, what do you think here of the board state?
It still has Karn, which I would say is the biggest advantage you can have besides casting Ulamog. They're both kind of racing to Ulamog now. Ulamog is the only thing that can save Simon against the Karn. It's unlikely to cast his own Karn, but in the end, if you're not dealing with Karn, you don't get a Tron. So if Calcano has a way, unfortunately we don't see the hand, but if Calcano has a way...
it depends if Kalk has AWAR Might in the sideboard or not.
Yeah.
Because that might destroy either the ring or the talisman, so that he can take a turn off and just pick up Karn because he doesn't have to play around Karn Needle.
Does Might exile?
Might exiles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it can deal with the ring, yeah. Or has any way to deal with the one of the lands in from the
All
sideboard.
right, Karn though, if you have Karn in play, Simon has to draw a card now. It doesn't have to. Of course. Did Simon... Because the ring, with Karn in play, you can't activate the ring. So you don't need to get Hayward Might anymore, because both of the things are stopped. So...
There's Museju, right? That might be a way eventually.
well, no, the problem is the Karn the Great Creator for Simon right now. And I guess the way Simon can attack Karn is by playing his own Karn +1 on the ring and attacking Karn for 4. So that might be the way out.
But there's Stone Brain, so
Yes, but the Stone Break, yeah.
that could be just on Karn right away.
Or it could be on the whatever land is
Tower.
missing tower. But I think Simon has the plan to kill the small Karn. Although of course, Kalk is gonna minus on the other land, so Simon does not do that play. I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm just layering, doing all the levels of play that might happen. Again, playing some of the best player in the world, so we probably can just sit down, relax, and see what they do at the end.
Yeah, speaking of relaxing, Meng, early on you asked me if I
wasn't
prefer
relaxed.
Spanish or Portuguese
Oh.
food. Do you prefer Spanish or Italian
Now,
food?
this one is easy. Italian. Any Italians among my viewers here? I see my viewers. Among the viewers. Plenty of Italians who can.
So you're
guarantee
saying you
this.
don't like Spanish food? Ooh.
This is what I heard.
No,
man.
not true at all. No. I love croquetas. That's an irreplaceable thing. They only have it in Spain. Like, I don't know, they exported food is like exported in the world a lot, but it is, croquetas only exist in the country of Spain.
So I have a question then.
But good croquetas, sorry.
If Italian food is so good, why is the pizza so bad?
Ooh.
Sorry, I can't have an
Andrea-
argument with a German about food. It's just-
Andrea doesn't.
It's like, I can't. We can talk about, I don't know, cars and technology and occupation level among the youth, but not about
I've
food.
never seen Andrea angry, I think, in his life. But one
Never.
time, Will posted a
Oh, yeah.
picture
Oh yeah.
and said, like, from an American pizza and said,
He
why?
was literally in Naples and he complained about the pizza.
And then
An Englishman.
And he posted from a picture from America. It's
Oh,
like,
he's there. Will.
why can't your pizza taste like the American pizza? And then he tweeted the picture, and Andrea was like, I can't anymore. This is it.
He says that the pizza is soggy.
Because he's so used to the fake cheese that they have up there that he couldn't realize that mozzarella cheese makes the little whatever it is,
Yeah.
like the water of the mozzarella.
Will, you came just to be roasted. I'm sorry, friend.
Yeah, what happens if you can't answer with your microphone, huh? Come here.
No. Oh, next to Will, we see my friend Pivo, who also top 8 at the Pro Tour. So a big round of applause for Marco del Pivo. Top 8 competitor, qualified to Worlds. So.
Also,
Calcano.
congratulations to Christian Calcano, the first player here making it to the finals. Look at his expression.
Oh,
He just
look at
says,
him.
wow.
Oh.
Come on.
One more.
Representing New York, one more game to go. Also very good here from Sinal Nielsen, being able to top 8 and again top 8, 2 Pro Tours in a row. It's not an easy accomplishment, so very great run from him.
Amazing.
How do you
amazing.
feel here, Mengu, for your friend Christian Calcano? Now
Well,
you can be biased.
No, I mean, Calcano Pro Tour champion would be, it just sounds so good. It sounds so good. Christian Calcano Pro Tour champion.
Calcano, the calculator, Pro Tour champion.
Yes, and it all started with
Barcelona.
the RC, in Italy that he just came to have fun, play the last chance qualifier.
I think
And-
also the amount of effort and work to the amount of skill makes him deserve all of
Ooh,
this
there
so
he
much.
is.
Yeah.
So we have a mono green Tron in the finals, which is here Christian Calcano. We are now going to see Jake Beardley in Rakdos Evoke versus Dominic Arvey in Amulet Titan. Which one of these matchups is better for Tron?
Well, Amulet Titan is horrible for Tron. So Calcano is doing his best, sitting now praying that Scam somehow wins against the Amulet deck, which is going to be a very close matchup. Like that can go back and forth depending on how the draws are. But if Calcano plays against Titan, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, and I see here the facial expressions and like just how happy Christian Calcano is to make it so far here into the finals. How important is this to him to make it here into the finals of a Pro Tour in Barcelona?
Yeah, I mean,
It's incredible.
it's both, right? It just, oh, by the way, imagine that the last two Modern Pro Tour, both in Barcelona, both won by Tron.
Yeah, I mean, we're not spoiling anything, but
I think,
it's going to happen.
yeah, I don't know. It's the funny part is if you're a modern player, you know how like Tron has always been like this meme deck, you know? Like if you look at okay, obviously you won the Pro Tour with it, but you know, if you go to a modern tournament, Tron doesn't do that well often. If you go to, you know, yeah, like for real, like we don't see Tron very often, but when it matters, when it counts, the pro player picks it up and win with it.
So would you say that because the pro players are so good, that Tron is a very skill-intense deck because you have to make a lot of difficult decisions?
I mean, it might be actually. It might be. I
Mengu,
never thought about that.
Tron fan confirmed. And
What's next? Like Burn doing the same next time?
Oh no, Burn is a skill deck.
Oh, okay. Love that.
come on. And I want to ask you guys, now that this is over and we have a bit downtime, did you went to the party yesterday?
Yeah. The DJ Frodo party. No, I played a PTQ up until like very late. I believe it was like 11 p.m. So I went to my hotel, showered, and then went to the party, and I saw so many Magic players. I don't know if you were there yesterday and met me. So yeah, I took a lot of pictures. I have some pink picture.
Oh, yeah, it was
with
very
a bunch of
red.
friends, and yeah, I mean we stayed there till the end. We got a bunch of free drinks by Wizards. So
Oh.
that was good. That was good.
Nice.
What about you, Tofu?
I liked the DJ that was in the beginning because it was it was my type of music. It was very, very well crafted transitions, good 90s, 2000s music.
I really liked it. I went, I got my promo card, I got a water, I watched the DJ, then I saw I saw the Frodo, and I take a picture and come back to work.
Bye bye, Frodo.
Yeah, it was nice to see you.
I mean, I have very high appreciation for staying until the end. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, we were like, not kicked out, but just like escorted out by the
Mengu, go.
I don't know any words, but the people that make you leave at the
Kicked
end.
out of the party.
Yeah, and then it was cool. You know, they were all outside, talked for a bit, and I believe some people went to some after parties, but I left.
After party?
Yeah, after party. Yeah.
Oh, there's an
exactly.
after party.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we the boomers of Magic?
I mean, I certainly am.
Like,
I am soon crossing the 30 years old age, so yeah.
you're
I
as
think-
old as Magic.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think I'll become soon.
Are you 93?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you an MTG boomer or zoomer? I want to hear it out. Who is an MTG boomer?
I'll give some pucks to the Zoomers because they need to be the one.
Now everybody is a
this one we
zoomer.
can't lie about.
The boomers are like,
This
I'm a zoomer.
we can't lie
Oh,
about.
I'm latest. No.
I'm still.
You
What's
look
up,
like- you
fellow
look like-
kids?
Yeah, it's a YOLO.
Nah, I don't see that.
Come on, MTG
he's-
zoomers, make some noise.
Where's some young people over here?
So what is a
another
zoomer
one,
word
another one.
you say
Ooh, I
nowadays?
see you
I don't
yesterday.
know. I think it's just
You were
younger.
playing next to me at the
It's like, what do
PTQ.
the kids do?
How did it
You
go?
know?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
They
Is-
play
okay,
Magic.
good
Is
job.
lit still not up to date?
No,
No?
I don't think so. I don't think it's lit to say lit.
It's not lit today?
I don't think it's a thing anymore. But I also couldn't know. I'm also kind of getting in that age range as well.
Yeah.
Magic players are
Eventually
usually
we'll-
very good in getting like.
Please don't fall.
I didn't expect that.
We take a look here at the top 8 bracket, and we see that Christian Calcano here, our first finalist of the week.
Calcano.
And you know, I don't want to use the word MTG boomer, but we saw a lot of Magic, like old school players here, do very well in this tournament.
Yeah, we saw Kai Buddha. Like,
Who
if you
here
think
is a
of
fan of Kai Buddha?
everyone, if you just being a young kid watching the Pro Tour, you heard of Kai. But honestly, I didn't even heard of him until I became like a more competitive player, because he was winning everything way before my time as well. So
When we had German nationals,
Alright.
he was commentating on the top 8 a lot. And then that was the first nationals I played. I was like, I don't know, 14, 15 or whatever. And we were sitting in the room and he was like talking his way of talking through the lines. And then I said, you know what? I think if you do the other line, that's way better. And he looked at me and it's like, and I was afraid because he was looked at me and it's like, you know what? You're right. You're going to get good in Magic. And I was like, oh, he told that to me. It's like,
And did you?
I did. No, I swear, if he goes to me and says like, "Oh, you have no chance of winning anything," I just quit right there. No, but yeah, he was
a
very
great
kind.
player. I'm excited to see you play in the World Championship. It's almost, what's going to be the format?
Standard and draft. Yep. So
Are you comfortable in these formats?
draft, very comfortable. I'm very sad that there are no solo draft pro tours. That would be my thing. I was unfortunately too old for those. They switched, but that would be my thing. But standard, I would rather prefer modern for unparticular reasons. But standard is definitely a cool format.
We have here a list of the modern archetypes. I want to hear you. What is your favorite deck?
Tron. Someone said Tron. Did they get a pack?
Who said
before?
Tron? I cannot just move all the Tron. I know he already got a pack for Tron.
Yeah, he also got a pack because
I really love that it's like everyone is saying different things and then they hear the word pack and Tron and like, Tron! Like, I love Tron.
No, okay.
Please sign
Like-
me up.
Who likes Jeskai Control?
That guy Azorius.
No, I'm just doing a
He already.
Who likes Demir Mill?
Wait.
Oh, God, look, not even a pack can get people to say
Not even like, they couldn't get that
Demir
low.
Mill did well in the PT.
Yeah, really
Only
did.
did well. Did decent.
I saw that Merfolk, but the one
yeah.
Merfolk player played 8 and 2, so
Yeah.
confirmed broken.
Who here is a fan of Merfolk and Nikachu playing Merfolk? We have some Merfolk.
This is difficult.
I don't feel like
Yeah, no, we need to ask questions more direct, because this is anyone can
You
say.
know, like it's. I want to tell a funny story. So I was playing this tournament. I was casting this tournament, and it was Pioneer. And round 1, a player comes up with a modern Merfolk deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the opponent like started playing, saw the opponent, and was like, "Hey, they're vile," and I was like, okay. Started playing. This is not legal in Pioneer.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Round 1.
How did that go?
Well,
I hope they refound the entry fee.
haven't you heard of that Pioneer Merfolk deck top 8?
Oh no.
It was just disqualified.
All right. So let's talk about a little bit of the next. We see them on the screen right now. The 2 players. So again, we talk. Let's introduce them.
Yeah, so here I can talk a bit about Jake Beardsley. So he's kind of a newcomer. He's 23 years old, so pretty young, one of the MTG Zoomers category. But he's actually been playing since he's 13, so he has 10 years of experience. This is his first Pro Tour, and actually he's part of team Rain Bruchette and Kane Reinhardt, which we know they have been doing pretty good results lately. How nerve-wracking must be to be here on a first Pro Tour. Thoralf, do you remember your first Pro Tour?
Oh yeah, it was Hawaii. It was very good. I did horrible, but it was Hawaii. So I think your first Pro Tour is inconceivable. You try so hard, you got so far.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
I mean, who goes top 8 on their first Pro Tour? That's ridiculous. Like, can't you just pretend to fight?
Obviously, Jake did with
Yeah.
Rakdos Evoke. Mengu, what do you think of this deck?
Yeah, Rakdos Evoke is a deck that I have picked up recently as unfortunately, my pet deck Blur Murktide who is a little bit weaker since the Orcish Bowmaster print. So for my couple of weeks ago, I practiced for the Mox playoff and the LMS Bologna, and I decided to play Evoke, which is a deck that I think it's all right. I think it's a good deck. I don't think it's as good to be the most popular deck of the tournament, or by that much, because it was 20%, with the second one being like 10%. But you know, it's definitely a good choice. I believe it had above 50% win rate, so I think it's the best mid-range deck of Modern for sure.
And did you know that yesterday Jake got so excited about making top 8 that he literally tackled his girlfriend? I've heard that. So literally just top 8 announcement, Jake fiercely, and he goes to his girlfriend and she just gets tackled.
They can feel the amount of pressure that releases once you make top 8.
Yeah, I mean, top 8 in your first Pro Tour, that's an achievement. On the other side, we have Dominic RV playing Amulet Titan, a deck that is very hard to play, right, Thoralf?
Yeah, I mean, we will commentate on the match, and it's not going to be a lot of, oh yeah, he should do this, that, or this. Like, I compare it a little bit like Doomsday, because you have so many lines in your head and piles you can do. If you've ever played Doomsday, it's a headache sometimes. And it takes years of experience to know at which situation can you create which board state with which amount of mana, what cards do you need, what do you play against, and it's just complicated. And there will be some time where we see Dominic thinking about all of those things, because Amulet is one of those things, once you have the good draw, you win, almost no matter what. But your medium draws are difficult to play, and that's where you get the advantage.
And I see here that Dominic RV plays a very special land in this deck. What do you think of this land, My Cousin in Gardens?
Yeah, it's one of the new pickups, pretty much like the only very new pickup, that is Amulet 5-8. So the Amulet is the most important card, as you might have realized from the name. And when you have another copy of those in your hand just from playing your lands, it makes your lands create 2 more mana, because how Amulet works is your tapped lands untap once you play them, and you have the bounce lands that make 2 mana. So when you play them, you untap them right away. If you have 1 amulet, you create 2 mana. If you have 2 amulets, you untap twice, so you create 4 mana. And basically, 1 amulet is very strong, and 2 amulets is always game. If you play Primary Titan, it makes like 12 mana or something ridiculous.
Yeah, when I play against Titan, every time that they start floating the mana, add here, more, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
You're either dead on the spot, or at the point where they end your turn with like 14 lands and you're at 4. And
Meng, why do you think the deck did so well here this weekend?
So I would say that Amulet Titan did so well in the hands of Dominic Harvey because he's a master of the archetype. For those of you who don't know, Dominic Harvey wrote the quote-unquote Bible on Amulet Titan, and it's an open article that you can go read on his Twitter if you're interested in learning more, because this deck has so much to learn. This is not Tron, Scam, or Evoke, or Rhinos.
Evoke,
I'll try. Hopefully nobody.
Evoke.
Which are just like decks that anyone can just start playing Modern, pick up, play them. Amulet Titan is not like that. You have to go through a lot of learning before playing this deck at a decent amount, and Dominic is above that. Dominic is not a decent player, he's an amazing player, and he's going to be able, hopefully, to win this tough matchup, which is, again, Dominic tested with me, actually played a quite important match against him. I was on the Evoke side, got it right, but I was playing more Blood Moon. I saw that Jake only has 1 Blood Moon and 4 Fable. Fable is not very good in this matchup, and Blood Moon is. So we are going to see, that's wow, these players are fast over there.
Yeah, we're starting right away. Let's take a look at your hand with that Grief, and comes back with a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, Grief, turn 1 on the play.
And since I cannot say the other thing, doing evoke things, right?
Yeah, that is leaving Dominic with not much to do. But, Dominic has lands. Urza Saga can pick up Amulet Titan, can draw another Amulet Titan, and then, Amulet of Vigor, and then, you go off that way, but no, we see just a Boseiju.
Ooh, everyone's favorite monkey.
I was about to say, if Grief stays like this, the clock is reasonable. If it adds a Ragavan, it looks pretty grim.
We
see this is the only Ragavan deck in the top 8, so despite Ragavan is one of the strongest card I printed, recently has been kind of, outpowered by the Orcish Bowmaster.
Oh yeah, what do you think of that card? It's fairly new. It came in very recently in the Lord of the Rings set. What do you think of the Orcish Bowmaster?
It's good.
it's
It's good. Someone
Professional
could say
opinion.
it's too good.
And here specifically in this deck,
Yeah, in Rakdos Evoke was exactly the missing piece, because you were missing like some good cards on their own. You didn't, because otherwise you were just playing some like cards that would work together with other things, but that would just raise too much the variance of the deck. Whereas now with the Orcish Bowmaster, you have just simply threats, more threats to keep pressure, to answer opposing Ragavans, to answer opposing like Mishra's Bubble and Ledger Shredder, only mentioning cards from Blue Red Merc that unfortunately, and it's one of the biggest reason of its comeback. But now we see that Dominic played a safe Saga. He didn't go for turn 1 Saga to go for Amulet. He went for a turn 2 Saga so that you could at least make a couple of constructs to threaten the Grief. But you see that Dominic is already at 2 life points and he hasn't played a single spell yet.
yeah. So if the advantage bar was on, it would be very heavy here for Jake.
Yeah.
Having that start is so incredible. You take 2 cards, the only spells from the hand. He's left with 5 lands, and Amulet with only lands is not known to be a very fast deck. You need some support, and has also removal spell. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's game 1.
And he wasn't even on the play. Was he? No, he was on the play.
He
My
was on
bad.
the play,
was
yeah.
on the play.
Sometimes you just open these hands, you have like Grief Evoke, Ragavan, 2 lands. That's it.
It's
that's
a
it.
very good deck. And
Yeah.
is it like normal to have these starts, or was like these?
I mean, it's, definitely, I don't know the odds, but you have to draw Grief and one of the 6 Evoke. So, when you get that draws, you're winning most of the times, but you can see now Jake does not have that draw and is going to definitely have an harder time against this turn 1 Urza Saga Go. Amulet Titan is one of the very few decks that can afford to do that.
If you assume that the card has, I think, about a 40% chance to be in your opening hand, if you play 4 of, and you want 2 specific ways, that's 40 and another 36 because you take away one of the slots. So that means in about 15 to 20% you can have access to one of those together.
Yeah, so it's very likely that you're going to end up having these hands over and over again in this deck.
Yeah, because you also have Fury over Grief. A turn 1 Fury evoked is also as powerful as, not as powerful as Grief, but very
It
powerful.
hits harder as well.
Yeah.
What is your favorite evoke card, Mango?
What's my favorite evoke card? I really like Solitude. I really like Solitude. Just the ability of, just having a removal spell instant speed for free. We had like counter spell for free with Force of Will, but we never really had a removal spell for free. So I think that the print of Solitude just added something to Magic that was missing.
You agree, Thoralf?
No, it's Muldrifter.
I love like to just nope.
It's Muldrifter. There's just nothing. Have you ever cast a Muldrifter and felt unhappy? No, it doesn't happen.
And how is this start here that we see on game 2? So game 2 doesn't have sideboard, right?
Yes, we only sideboard from game 3, which is very different because the ratio of sideboarded to non-sideboard game goes up. Usually you have 1 and 3, now you have 2 and 5. So your main deck matters a lot more. And now we also see the Amulet is already in the battlefield, and you will see that makes a lot of difference. One of the lands that profits from the Amulet a lot is this Crumbling Vestige, because it makes a mana of a color that comes into play but tapped, so it's kind of replacing the mana. But with Amulet, you actually add 2 mana, and that's be able to cast the ring.
One of the problem of the Rakdos Evoke deck is that it doesn't have ways to deal with the ring.
Oh, that's bad.
So now, what's gonna Dominic, like Amulet Titan had a terrible matchup against this deck, but now thanks to the ring, you can steal some games just by casting you can see here a turn 3 ring, which, maybe it's turn 4, but anyway, like the ring just like fogging, drawing 3 cards immediately. Of course, Jay can have Orc, then the Orc pressures you, because every time you draw a card you take damage, then upkeep you take damage. So it's gonna be interesting if Jake has the Orc in end, if Dominic can fight through that, because I think that if Jake doesn't have the ring, the Orc, I think Dominic is going to win this game.
Also, the ring right now protects you from any discard effect, so that means the 3 cards you draw can't be. Oh, okay, that's a good response.
Yeah,
that's 2 additional damage.
Yeah, this is you know, in the same set, you have the two most powerful cards right here in play.
Yeah.
But, you know, in some games, one beats the other, which is the Orc. But we'll see if this is the case.
Yeah, we see here the Orcish Bowmaster, definitely a great card. We also see play some in draft for those that were lucky to get it.
Yeah, yesterday, my top 8, my opponent had all 3 games. It was brutal.
He did win the PTQ.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so it's a very strong card in multiple formats. Did you hear about the modern Orcish Bowmaster Flump combo?
I mean, it's a meme to
It's a meme,
yeah.
more than Tron or less than Tron?
What do you mean?
More than Tron,
what do you-
more than Tron.
It's literally winning the second Pro Tour soon. The second. How many memes do you want?
True, I don't know.
How many Pro Tours does it need to take to convince you that's a real deck? No, actually, but this is the point. People don't like the deck, so they don't respect it. So all of us who believe in the heart of the best deck just get advantage from all of you naysayers. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad.
I want to win out to be playable in Modern.
The tokens with the mana
Yes.
pulled out by Dominic because he's going to do a lot of tap on tap right now going
General
on.
advice, if those come out, you're not in a good spot. Like,
Yeah,
if
Dominic
your opponent
has,
starts to count spells and mana, it's usually very bad.
Dominic has a lot of cards. We can't really see what's in his hand, but I believe there's an Azusa because on display. So, yep, there it is. So Dominic chose to return Crumbling Vestige rather than the Rot Farm, which is an interesting choice.
Because it is basically the same amount of 2 mana, just you don't have to return it.
Right.
But if you plan to make a lot of mana right now, then you would maybe use a bounce land, and then you can return some other lands which are utility. But the Kremlin Vestige just is a bounce land without using the.
Before we were commentating the Tron Mirror and we were talking about, you know, spending food and stuff like that. Now we have to be focused if we want to know what's going on. Like, this is not one of those games which is like, oh, okay.
I mean, we also have to follow because
just relax.
Let's be honest, a lot of the times I have no idea what's going on now.
Because again, we're watching one of the best players in the world piloting Amulet Titan, so we're just gonna, it's kind of like.
So the
Yeah.
goal,
Enjoy your
we
ride
can tell you
here.
what the goal is. The goal is to cast Primeval Type. Yeah. How does that then win? So you cast a Primeval Titan, and you somehow get a Boros, a Garrison, and the card that gives
Slayer
haste.
Stronghold.
Slayer Stronghold, yes. So that means right away, because of the untap of the Amulet Titan, you can attack with the Titan right away, which gives you another trigger of getting those 2 lands. Now, if you have more mana available, you get the land that gives double strike. So that means right now you're looking at 6 from the Titan plus 2 from the Stronghold times 2, that's 16 damage. That was usually the benchmark of 1 turn that you can do with 1 amulet. And in order to deal 20, you needed something additional. A second amulet would deal 1 more damage because you get the Stronghold twice. Or if you can somehow get a lot of mountains from Valakut. It was strong in Modern because when they fetched a lot, you were naturally going down to 16, that was an important number, from shock lands, from fetch lands. This has reduced a lot in the Modern state right now from some of the decks. Rakdos Evoke naturally has a lot of basics, a lot of stuff that doesn't hurt you. Tron, obviously, as well. So it's a little bit more tricky to get to the number of 20 damage.
And here is the land that we were talking about. How do you think that we can use here this land as well in this deck, in the Amulet Titan?
Right now, I think it's not as important anymore because the amulet is already doing the stuff. There might be lines where in between you look for the land that untaps, it makes the amulet right away, so you have more mana in the combo turn that you're doing right now. That depends on all of those complicated lines that you have in your head and you already know. It doesn't really help to create more damage, it just makes you more mana for the cards you get from this. If you have a Tolaria West, you can also look for a Pact and then look for a different creature.
Yeah, so just one single Amulet Titan does not win the game, as Dominic didn't even go for the double strike one, but just went for the Simic Growth Chamber plus the Mycosine Gardens, and has 3 mana in his second phase now. But wow, we see here a Undying Malice on Grief, which is gonna... Whoa! Otawara discounted by Azusa. Crazy. So Dominic played around this wonderfully by fetching up Simic Growth Chamber and Mycosine Gardens. Like, this deck is so hard. Like, this turn took, I mean, now we're doubling speed, but like this turn took Dominic not that long because he already played all these turns
Yeah, you have to
forever. So this format definitely rewards knowing your deck in and out.
But you have to be like very devoted to this deck, right? Because for example, I went to Dominic's Twitter when I saw that it was making the top 8, and I see he has articles from months ago about Amulet Titan. Like, this is a very, as you said, intensive deck, skilled deck. So how much is the practice important in playing the Amulet Titan?
It's all of it, because you have to remember the lines, you have to figure out from the board state which one do you want to apply from your hands, what sometimes, because you don't win the game, what is the board state you want to end up with that doesn't lose you the game and that's stable. But also the bench, like, because it's so hard, a lot of people don't go into the deck, because in order to play it correctly it takes you months of practice. Why would you not play something else that you can learn easier? So that's why you don't see as many Amulet decks, especially played well, because people just don't take the time.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that this game is over. Dominic is gonna has many ways of killing the opponent this turn, starting with coping an amulet, then has 2 land drops, so it's gonna go for just ton of mana. Tolera West is gonna fetch up Summoner's Pocket because it costs 0 mana, and with it it's gonna get another Titan, giving them both haste, both double strike. That's just so much damage, and Dominic has this in the bag, which is kind of cool, honestly. Just going to sideboard where 1 and 1, you know, you're not that unhappy about it.
Yeah, and before actually this game started, I said when I play against Amulet Titan, I know when they start floating that mana, it's when I lose. And that's exactly what we see that. We see those lands and the dice representing the mana floating, and the game, it's when it's over.
It's also not like the way that you have a certain pattern. A lot of the things fetched for the others, when you get lands, you can get Tolaria West, that gets your pact for the green creatures, that gets your other creatures, that you can, then the Primal Titan will get lands again. So you are not in the same spot of starting your combo all the time, because you have different parts of the thing. Like, it's so difficult, and then doing the stuff is okay because you do what you can, but optimizing the stuff is so difficult.
Yeah, and
so we've seen the ring. I talked about it earlier, and now the ring, you know, hasn't done too much after that. Congrats to Dominic RB, who wins games number 2. Do we got any Amulet players in the area?
No, I mean like actual good ones.
Come on, crowd, we want to hear more.
Ooh, honestly, I love the honesty. I have to say. You know, if everyone was a Tron player just before, now we got like what, 5 Amulet players?
No, there was like 3.
No, put it down. You have it. Ooh, he plays.
He just plays Magic.
Yeah, but honestly, I would say like every Magic card, and I don't have Amulet Titan deck cards. I own, I think, everything, but you know, Amulet Titan, I'm missing that one. What about you, Toffel?
Maybe you should stream Amulet Titan once. If it wins, do you will you stream
it? Exactly.
Come on!
I stream it, and whenever I stream it, it's miserable. That and Yawgmoth, those are the 2 decks I just refuse to stream. Sometimes I have.
But I mean, to be honest, a lot of the skill of you as a player is also identifying what doesn't really identify with your playstyle, may it be experience or just intuition, and then play the stuff that you're good at. And if it's just not combo decks, it is like this. Like you can't force yourself into playing something you're just not good at.
Yeah, and also like it's not only hard to play. I feel like for a new player, it's hard to play against. Because they are just doing things and you're like, sure, that must be it.
Yeah. Do we want to take a look at the sideboard of I'm curious to know Jake's sideboard, because it's going to be very relevant what Jake is going to do. How many Magus of the Moon in particular, because that's, I think, one of the best cards you can have against Titan. Although Dominic has 3 Dismembers. Yeah,
so in sideboard, Jake has 1 Croxa, 1 Pitting Needle, 2 Shieldred, the Apocalypse, 3 Chalice of Void, 2 Engineered Explosives, 1 Terminate, 2 Lightning Bolt, 1 House Spellbomb, and 2 Blood Moons.
2 Blood Moons. So we're going to look at those 2 Blood Moons, that's for sure. And then I'm a big fan of siding in Chalice of the Void against Amulet.
Yeah.
Because it stops Summoner's Pact and Tolera West for Summoner's Pact. So it basically just shrinks your way to combo to just drawing naturally Primeval Titan or Cultivator Colossus. Or, of course, you can Boseiju the Chalice, but you know, then it was successful Cyber cards if you did so.
Yeah, and I have a question to you about that. So maybe, Thoralf, you can help me. Magus of the Moon, or here we see Blood Moon. One is a creature, other is not. Now with Boseiju ways to remove artifacts and enchantments, do you think it's still better to play Blood Moon instead of Magus of the Moon?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think people also are not solved on this one. It depends on a lot what you're facing. Right now, the Amulet deck has Boseijus, it can answer Blood Moon very easily, but not Magus of the Moon. So if you experience a lot of Amulet or a lot of Tron, maybe you want the Magus of the Moon, because that goes around Boseiju. But if they play Lightning Bolts, for example, or Fatal Pushes, or whatever they have as removal spells, then you naturally want Blood Moon. And it just all depends on what you expect your opponent to have. Right now, I think I would go for Blood Moon more than not, but depending on this Pro Tour, when Tron and Amulet are the good decks, you might switch for next week.
Great. So considering here, we have a good start here.
Yeah,
for
the
Jake.
Dismember very much needed, as it gets rid of the Ragavan. But yeah, Jake has a decent start. Not as good as turn 1 Grief, but Ragavan into Dothi on the play is definitely nothing to
And double tap
be upset
land,
about.
and like double non-important land with nothing. Hopefully there's like ooh, that's a one-off.
That's
If that's
important.
gone, you cannot give your Titan haste. That's one of the best hits you can have.
Yeah, for sure. That is something that happens often with in this particular matchup. You just exile irrelevant lands like Valakut or Slayer Stronghold or Vesuva, and the Titan deck might not function as well as it would.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Couldn't he have cast the Titan right this game?
Yeah,
Yes, someone is saying yes.
That is
I don't know you, but I trust you.
Yeah, that is a play that actually I did against Dominic in when we faced each other in the mocks. Is that turn 3, Grief, your a Primeval Titan, and use it with Dothi Voidwalker to put the Titan into play, and they follow it up with a turn 3 Blood.
Is there a plan behind it? Because Titan seems like a better clock and gets your lands out of your deck.
Well,
or do you save the Dothi for exiling because it's more important?
So Dothi also does another thing very important, which is attacking for 3 every turn.
Yeah, but Titan attacks for 6 next turn.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe you didn't have a Titan in play. I mean, I think I would have started with, Thoughtseize. I think that would have been that would have made more sense. But once you didn't do that, maybe you just want to get the ring and play this game, which seems very much in the driver's seat for Jake.
Once you attacked, you definitely want the ring.
That's
And
the point
we see there Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Another copy of the ring from Dominic. I don't know if you already added that one in end.
And we see there.
I saw Bloodman.
What does Jake need to deal with that? The one ring.
Nothing really, but Dominic is on 6, and next turn the damage fog effect is not going to work anymore. So if Jake manages to land the Blood Moon now, it might be just Dominic doesn't have enough time to handle the Blood Moon, handle the creatures, and just die to it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be it. We saw also some players playing Questing Beast as a way to dodge the one ring.
Yes,
Do you
Questing
think
Beast.
more people are going to start playing Wild Slash, Questing Beast, cards like this to
Stomp,
dodge?
Insult to Injury, I've seen them all. I think it's very reasonable if it was the most played card in the whole tournament. If everybody's playing it and they assume that they're safe for one turn and you can just snack them for 20 or 12 in the Rhino's case, it's a very strong counterplay. It is a 4-mana kind of do-nothing card, like the applications aren't besides that. But if that's your best answer, you have to be very creative.
Yeah, so Dominic managed to survive one more turn by drawing the 3rd copy of the ring. But again, there's not a great plan outside of just chaining the 4th ring now. You can go like basic forest, Boseiju on the Blood Moon, and then go off.
Yeah, and even if you get rid of Blood Moon, or like you try to combo, you don't have the Stronghold anymore. You cannot give your Titans haste. So
right, and the Dothia's Fear.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it. Come on.
So the person who's the happiest right now is Calcano, because Calcano really wants Rakdos to win.
With no breaks here. the broadcast brings us immediately to game number 4, which could be the last one.
Yeah, and we see that both players are opening with 7 cards, if I'm seeing correctly. And also, one thing is that here, if Jake wins, it wins the whole thing.
Yes.
But if Dominic wins, we still are going to have a game number 5.
Exactly. And yeah, this, I mean, you really, it's as far as you can get in any of the things. That any game matters as much as the last one, so.
Ooh, draft staple right there. Generous End, getting Dominic the basic forest to cast all his green spells in end.
Is there something else to get than the forest? Is there a reason to play the creature? So, who plays Amulet? Who was that? You. Why do you play the Ant? The Land Cycler, the Forest Land Cycler. Why do you play that?
Under the Blood Moon, you can summon Respect 4, get Forest, and Boziju the Blood Moon.
Oh, and then you can pay for the pact because you have all the mana.
Colors.
Okay, I believe him a little more now.
Yeah.
They do say Twitch chat knows better, and we have here now Twitch chat in real
that is-
life,
yeah,
and they
exactly.
do. It's
Real
true.
life Twitch chat. Do you think we should give?
Can we make them emote?
Do you think we should give some packs?
Yeah.
Do you want to do this round?
I think we should give 1 pack to the person that helped
You
us.
can do it.
I can do it.
I have
All
to
right.
choose. I don't like to choose.
All right. I'll get some more packs while I'm standing. Let's root for somebody here.
Andrea the Santa Mengucci.
Cosa?
Andrea the Santa Claus Mengucci.
Yes. let's root. Let's root for Dominic Harvey's Cream. All right. This you in the front again for Dominic Harvey. And now for Jake Birdsley.
I love that, like, some people are like, Jake, yay! Dominic, yay! I love them all!
Who likes boosters? Yay!
Yay!
Shrimp fried rice. Yay!
All right, guys, what's going on here? Ooh, I see a Dothy exiled the Titan. So that play actually happened this time around.
Yes. And I can't imagine you're not trading your Voidwalker for a Titan.
Yeah, so Dominic has an Azusa, not too much in hand. Sorry, not too much going on. He doesn't have Amulet.
Oh, very good.
Wow, that's an amazing play. Feign Death on Dothy to keep it alive. Casting Titan, go grab. I don't know. I don't think Jake plays any useful lands, but it doesn't really matter.
No,
honestly.
it doesn't really matter. Is the exile from the Voidwalker important? Is there some relevant case?
No.
No.
No, but you get a 4/3 Shadow. No, what's the name? Yeah, Shadow.
Yeah.
And the monkey is back.
Let's see if Dominic needs to chain the One Ring, just like he did in previous game. But no, there's no copy of the One Ring, and I would say that Jake looks.
Ooh, Thoughtseize, that's big. Ooh.
All right, so Jake could cast another Titan, but maybe he just wants to attack for.
So that's
how
twice
much
12?
does that? 12. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, it looks like he wants to cast another Titan. Deck thin, as we say.
Which is a bit weird to me because right now it would be 12 and another 12. I guess you could block with the Azusa. But if you cast Titan now, it's not lethal anymore next turn. Ooh, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single Grazer action in this game so far.
Grazer, one of the best cards in Titan.
Mox Diamond.
Yeah, basically Mox Diamond.
All right, so more.
Who's playing Amulet?
Did he Undying Malice again? I think so. Ay.
Ay, ay, ay.
Mamma mia.
Yeah, Dominic needs a lot of the One Ring.
Fable of
But,
Mirror Breaker.
I mean, there's no interaction. If he has, access maybe.
Yeah, the One Ring just gives you time because you untap, you draw 3 cards, and you can set up your combo. But just like you saw in the game that Dominic won, but
It's another Titan. Is that enough?
well, Dominic has a very high life total?
So if you block, you take 4 from the Titan, 4 from the Saya, 2 and 2,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
12.
I guess it
So
survives,
any
yeah.
removal spell wins, naturally.
Well, Dominic hasn't made a land drops yet, so he can go bounce land, return the Radiant Fountain, but I don't know how much. Sorry, he made a land drop, but he has a Zeus, so he has 2 more land drops to make. He can even return Otawara, bounce the Titan.
So you could,
I don't know. I don't know what
you
can
could get
happen here.
Vesuva and bounce land, then you can copy the 2 land, the 2 life land. So that way you get Vesuva back.
Yeah, but you have to think about how to win here, because that's gonna be the bigger problem right now.
It's not my job, I can't do
Yeah.
So this is the things, right?
I think it has to be the One Ring.
If you're in the good state of a combo, you know what you're doing. But right now, you have to find all the lines.
Yeah.
What do I want to get? What helps me right now? But also in the prospect of what helps me next turn. It doesn't help him if he survives now. He also needs to win sometime after. So maybe you don't get something that gets you to life.
Yeah,
But
and-
lands that like a Tolaria West approach, or you have to return the Oboro somehow that you can. It's tough. Like. This is especially, and also for him, it's definitely a situation that's new for Dom, even if he played many hundreds of those games.
Would you say that Amulet Titan is the most difficult deck to play in Modern?
Yes, probably.
Among the good ones, I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, Tron is really hard sometimes as well,
Of course.
but
Not bias.
it's definitely the problem about all of this. It's so. A lot of the times it's unprovable because your math is just so hard to calculate. With Amulet, there are a lot of really good ways. You just have to think of them on the spot. And on a tournament situation, you get slow play warnings. You have the time running in the background in the normal rounds. It's just so hard to think of them in a reasonable
this
time.
This is not a 2-card combo.
No.
You don't have to go A plus B. You have so many different lands to go grab every time, and you have to know exactly which one are the right one for these particular situations. And this is why Magic is such a difficult game, because every game is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really easy to mess up also an Amulet Titan, right? It's so easy to make the wrong decision.
You fetch the wrong lands, you played the wrong land, turn 1 or 2, it matters a lot. What you return and search for, your tutor options. So we see actually he did gain the 2 life from returning the Radiant Fountain and playing it again.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's it. That's the handshake.
that's the handshake.
Congratulations to Jake Bursley from the United States, who advances. to the
Yeah,
final.
this was it. So we have the 2 finalists.
Yes.
We are going to see more of Jake, and we are going to also see.
Tron.
Sorry, Jake. I mean, I don't personally know Jake. Ooh, we see him hugging his girlfriend.
Okay,
like
he
you
didn't
said
tackle
earlier.
the girlfriend this time.
Congrats,
Who
Jake.
here is a fan of Rakdos Evoke, for example?
Not that many. I mean, it's kind of like it's basically the Tron of like 3 years ago, I would say.
I want to see like if there's more fans of Tron or if there's more fans of Rakdos Evoke. So if you're a Tron fan, say Tron, and if you're an Evoke fan, say Evoke.
Just saying, there won't be any boosters, you have to be honest.
No. Be honest. No booster. Just like Evoke or Tron.
Well, it's good that they both
You can also
ended
say
in
another
O.
word
Yeah.
instead of evoke. Ooh.
Creativity.
Yeah, so we're gonna see this final, which is honestly the 2 decks that Rakdos Evoke was the most popular deck, the expected most popular deck. So if you're following Modern, you knew that Rakdos Evoke would have been a huge deal in this tournament. So it winning would not surprise anyone. Whereas Tron was not perceived as good as Rakdos Evoke, but as soon as Day 1 appeared and so many of the best player of the room played Tron, people were like, wait, is Tron actually great? So, seeing this final, also, a lot of people ask themselves the question, why did some of the best teams in the world, some of the best players in the world play Tron knowing that Evoke is going to be the most popular deck?
I didn't
And
ask the question.
it's a bad matchup, in theory. That's what they say, right? It's a bad matchup.
But
Yeah.
that's what we also did, because people who want to beat Evoke, that's what you're preying on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw here that we have to take a small break, but we will be back for the finals very soon. And we're going to be giving away more packs, we're going to have some more talks, and we are going to be excited to root for Christian Calcano and also Jake.
Yes, vamos de Calca.
Can we get an applause just to pretend
Is
that...
this stream still on? Can we put the stream back on until we come back? Because then you can still watch the stream.
Yeah, no, it's on. It's on right now. All right, guys. See you later.
Be right back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to beautiful Barcelona, Spain, and Pro Tour, the Lord of the Rings, here in our top 8. And it is time for the finals. This is the moment we have all been waiting for. We've been battling all weekend long through 2 days of Swiss to here to our top 8. And finally, the finals awaits us ahead. Hey everybody, welcome back to the news desk. Maria Berthaldi, Mani Davuti, and Will Hall joining you here as we gear up for the finals. This is what it all comes down to, the lion's share of a $500,000 prize pool, and of course the title of Pro Tour champion. Let's take a look at our bracket to find out where we've gone in our top 8 so far today before arriving at our finals. Jake Beardsley on Rakdos Evoke and Christian Calcano on Mono Green Tron. That is our finals. Mani, your thoughts on the top 8 so far?
You know, the top 8 has really been a mix of the expected and the unexpected, and I think one of the most unexpected was Jake Beardsley as Rakdos Evoke being able to overcome Marco Del Pivo in that quarterfinals match. And we mentioned even then when that happened that the road for him was only getting easier because both of the matchups that were potentially facing him afterwards, well, they were looking a lot easier than that Rhinos. For Christian Calcano, having to overcome two very incredible players, Kai Buddha and then Simon Nielsen. Well, nobody could have said it was expected, but in both cases, he was slightly favored, at least in the matchup. So it is cool to get to this finals, a matchup between the expected and the unexpected, and see how it's going to play out.
Absolutely. Will, thoughts from you?
My horse is still in the race. Jake Beardsley, the Cinderella story, it's still alive. Birthday weekend, first Pro Tour, first top 8, and now in the finals, one game away from lifting the trophy and calling himself a Pro Tour champion.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this finals that we have ahead of us, everybody. And hey, if you're at home watching all of the action here from Barcelona, guess what? You can join in on the action at MagicCon Las Vegas. Mark your calendars for September 22nd through the 24th. You can get your tickets right now at mcvegas.mtgfestivals.com. That's where we're going to be holding the World Championship, which is, of course, the most awesome event of the year in Magic. There's going to be a 100K limited open, cosplay contest, panels, the command zone, all of your favorite content creators all together in Las Vegas this September. And I just mentioned the World Championship, everybody. I mean, this championship is exciting enough, but the World Championship is truly where it's at. And we're going to talk to you now about the World Championship coming up this September and a lot of the absolutely incredible players that we have seen qualified for this tournament, 110 in total. Mani, who do you most have your eye on going into the World Championship? I know it's a big field.
Good timing, because right there on our kicker, Kai Buddha, his face on the screen. And you mentioned 110 players. This is the biggest field we're going to have at the World Championship in quite a while. Players like Autumn Burchett, Marcio Carvalho, two-time runner-up, going to get another shot at it.
Can you imagine if he got there again? Unbelievable stuff. For you, Will, do you have anybody in particular you have your eye on?
Well, Jake's now going to be going to the Worlds no matter what happens. So, you know, if he can do it once, why can't he do it again? Also, I'm a big fan of Reed Duke. I know Reed Duke has got an invite back there. We see that on the screen. Kieran as well. You know, English players getting themselves to Worlds. That's huge. So that's the players I'm sticking out for me right now.
And you see Willie Adel there popping up too. And Willie Adel has been a champion of Magic for the Brazilian community, kind of like somebody who's gathering newer players under his wings and showing them the way. Mani, do you remember him from back in the day?
Absolutely. I am a huge fan of Willie. Extremely kind player, extremely open and willing to be a mentor to those who are coming up in the scene, very much willing to go out of his way to help raise the community around him. And again, I talked about it earlier, but this year for him has sort of been a series of linked coincidences. He played the first Pro Tour in Philadelphia because he happened to already be in the United States, and just went over there and used his Hall of Fame invite, and that linked to another and to another, and that led him to this weekend where he locked up that invite. So to see him after all these years, like Kai, getting there is amazing.
Anybody else you've got your eye on there, Will?
Well, I kind of want to see the flavor. I want to see if someone can get 2 cards in their likeness made. So maybe Nathan Sawyer, maybe he can get 2 cards before he's even got his first card. It'd be really good to see if that can happen. Maybe Javier Dominguez can put it off again. He's obviously got an invite back, going back-to-back Pro Tour top 8s, one of them being this weekend. Looking at the ticker as we go across here, who we got coming out? Gab Nassif. There you go. Straight on the mark. Gab Nassif, a Yellow Hat fan favorite. Simon Nielsen, probably the happiest person in Magic currently. We also see the Citrus Assassin, Greg Orange.
Yeah, Mani, what about you?
Yeah, I think just one thing that stands out to me as we look at this ticker is we see plenty of names that we recognize, but we also see a lot of names that maybe we don't recognize quite yet. Maybe they're not quite household names, because this year the World Championship field is made up of regional champions, and the champions of the Magic Online Championship Showcase, and the champions of the Arena Championships. So we see a lot of names that maybe we don't know quite yet, but this is our opportunity to meet them. The World Championship stage is the biggest stage. Bradley Schlesinger, he won the United States Regional Championship using a very unique build of red-green vehicles.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to make some new stars, and I'm so excited for the larger field format tournament of the World Championship. So many great players to keep our eyes on, and we hope you'll join us September 22nd through 24th in Las Vegas for the World Championship. All right, everybody, it's time for the finals here at Pro Tour, the Lord of the Rings. Let's set up our final match. It has been a long couple of days to get here, and we are finally arrived, everybody. Christian Calcano versus Jake Beardsley. Mono Green Tron versus Rakdos Evoke. Christian Calcano, a player who's been a grinder for a long time, has 9 Grand Prix top 8s, including 2 wins. This is his second Pro Tour top 8, first at Pro Tour Amonkhet in 2017, which was incredibly, incredibly emotional for him. You saw how much he loved the game. It's got to be so emotional to be able to do it again. Let's take a look at his road to the top 8 here. Had only 1 loss on day 1 of the tournament. Open day 2 playing Jake in draft and won. It was draft, though, so things might be different here in Modern. Drew early in day number 2, but won in round number 16 to clinch a spot here in our top 8. That's Christian Calcano. On the other side of things, we have Jake Beardsley, his very first Pro Tour, and of course, his very first top 8. What a way to do it, and on his birthday weekend as well. Tested with Team Sanctum of All, had a pretty good day 1, going 7-1. Open day 2 once again with a loss to Calcano, but again was in draft, drew in round 16 to lock his spot here in his top 8 today. Those are the players. Now what about the decks, Mani?
Well, let's start by taking a look at Christian Calcano's deck. this build of Mono Green Tron that I've mentioned multiple times, very different from the Handshake build. It's a lot more traditional. It goes bigger, but by going bigger, it also is more reliant on finding Tron, assembling mine, power plant, and tower. And that is a bit harder to do when you're fighting through a lot of disruption. One card that I want to point out from Calcano's deck, Chromatic Star, where Handshake had only one copy, Calcano has the full 4. And maybe this doesn't seem like the biggest deal. Chromatic Star is just a bit player in this Tron deck after all. But there's one very important card on the other side. So let's take a look at Rakdos Evoke. And the card I want to point out has been an absolute all-star for Jake Beardsley all weekend, and in that match that we just watched, it's Douthie Voidwalker. The little 2-drop they could, one of the most powerful cards in this modern format, yet only really seeing play in Rakdos Evoke. This card fully shuts down Chromatic Star because it exiles it, meaning you do not get that card from the sacrifice trigger. This card single-handedly led to Team Handshake cutting stars from their Tron deck. This card has cast Warm Coil Engines. This card has cast Primeval Titans. Looking at the rest of this Rakdos Evoke deck, it is all disruption, including maybe the most iconic piece of disruption against Tron ever, Blood Moon. 1 copy in the main deck, 2 more copies in the sideboard. Jake Beardsley has made it look so good this weekend.
All right, I want one word from you. Who's going to win? Monty.
Calcano.
Will.
It's Jake.
All right, we're going to find out whose one word was correct. It's time for the finals here at Pro Tour, The Lord of the Rings. Cedric and Paul have the call.
Thank you so much, Maria and Monty, and of course, Will Hall. Me? I'm Cedric. That's Paul. We're going to crown a champion here, my friend.
Finals time.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
we are on now.
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I don't need the thing anymore.
I love giving stuff away.
I don't know.
Especially when they're
generally
not
yes, but
yours.
then if 3 people and you have 1 booster, it's like kids, you know?
Yeah, it's just a lottery, like.
And it's not one booster, it's a collector booster.
Yeah. It's like 2 people are sad and 1 is happy. Then I would rather keep it myself, so I'm. None of them get any.
All right, we see Calc. Look at his smile.
If somebody opens something like cool, tell us, right?
Yeah.
Some serialized cards. You opened a serialized card? What was it?
What did you open?
Ah,
one. Oh, yeah.
They're for you, they're for you.
No, we don't want to do
But if
that.
somebody
These are for
opens something
you.
cool.
These are for you. All right, Calc and Jake about to sit down, giving the handshake. A full American final here. I believe they were the only 2 Americans, and they made it all the way to the finals. So confirm that Americans are better at the game.
It's been a long time, I think.
That's a wild statement.
I mean, we're not in America, so we can.
You know, the most controversial thing for me all weekend is that,
Ooh, look at that.
you know, you saw Kai Buddha's lands choice. He just grabbed the lands from the draft pile to do the deck.
If you win 7 Pro Tours, you can afford
Yeah,
to.
you
But
can
I think
afford
it's
to do
it's
that.
still a better choice than the Time Spiral land.
All right, let's go. Go into the action.
Underway there, 7 cards each. Let's go.
Oh, Kakano's hand does not look too great.
Yeah, Calc's on the play. Giganta revealed.
So this is one of those hands where I say, do the math. Like, is the math checking out? You keep a power plant and a tower, but nothing really to get to the 3rd land. And the answer is probably not for my case.
The thing is that mulliganing against a deck that has 4 thoughts is 4 grief. It's never exciting. Look at that. Jake had the option between grief turn 1 or fury turn 1, and he opted for the fury turn 1.
Yes, because taking the card away doesn't really matter that much, but dealing 8 damage per turn is actual 3 turns of a clock. So that means next turn 8, the turn after 8, and then the game is over.
Must be nice to have those problems.
Yeah.
What do we choose between a turn 1 fury or turn 1 grief?
Yeah, those are some problems I would definitely like to have. Speaking of problems, Tron seems to be in some problems here with that Fury already being played on the other side.
Oh, but he drew a mine. He drew a mine, so he has Tron.
Oh, right. What does he do with 7 mana? Does he have the Liberator? No, all his payoffs are 8 or 10 mana. There's a Conjugate Creator, which doesn't quite stop the Fury, I guess.
So here's one of the reasons we didn't play Counter Creator back then, because when you play him to get a bridge, you have so many cards in hand because your deck's so expensive that the bridge didn't do anything. Right now, if we imagine Kalkan draws a card, he goes up to 6 cards, I think, plays the card in 5 cards, gets back the bridge, plays the bridge. 5 cards still doesn't stop the Fury.
But I guess Thoughtseize is reducing the hand count now.
Yeah, but it also takes the card away.
Yeah, it's okay then, I guess. It's fine.
I see we have a warping wall.
Yeah,
what do you think of that card, Thoralf?
I love that card. I played one in the sideboard, and the applications were so wide. They weren't really good, but they were so wide when you can use it. Right now, it prevents 8 damage because it creates the 0-1 blocker. Sometimes you want to counter a Thoughtseize, then you can do that.
Its biggest application and why is it played is because of the Cascade matchups.
Yes, you can counter the Rhinos.
And how important was there to be able to remove that card off end?
What did you open? Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
So one of the biggest cards was Karn. So right now there's no 7-mana play that is hugely impacting the game. But with that Warping Whale, you can stall for 1 more turn because you can block the Fury.
Although we see that Jake has the Fatal Push in hand. But, you know, Fury doesn't kill into attacks. It's simply an 8 damage on turn 2 card. So, you know, that takes 3 turns to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
So we can see maybe Kalk now going down to 4 life this turn, but then untapping, having either Ugin or Ulamog, and maybe turning the corner that way. We will see how this game goes down, but I think that, you know, finding that Urza's Mind for Kalk was simply amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's Tron.
Yeah. Do you play Giganta in your Tron deck?
I would not play Giganta right now. I think you don't need it. There are many cases where you just don't care about Giganta that much.
How much better Dismember would be here?
In this matchup, huge. Dismember would be all. Like, if you had Dismember right from the start, your opponent would have basically lost the game.
Yeah, Dismember is the reason to drop Giganta, and Rakdos Evoke is the reason to play Dismember. I believe they are playing Pyrite Spellbomb in the sideboard to deal with Magus of the Moon.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you know, you would Dismember also covers that angle. All right, so we're seeing that Kalk is simply cycling the Sphere,
hoping to find the best case a Womka engine.
Ooh.
Oh, it's the 1 ring.
And now you also have Warping Whale backup. And Warping Whale is huge because if nothing happens and you draw one of the 2-mana Tron lands, you can add the mana from the Eldrazi to cast the Ulamog next turn. And you know when Ulamog is on the battlefield, usually that's enough.
It ends the game there.
It ends the game.
That's it. I honestly would say that the game now took a, you know, turn 3 Tron, resolve the ring. The opponent has, I mean, has a Fury going on, so you can't say it doesn't have much going on. I guess Jake has 1 copy of Blood Moon. That would be the best draw and probably one of the few outs to this.
There was another Fury. Not good enough.
No, yeah, that's... we'll see now, because Jake can go for Grief Evoked, but he knows that Kalk has Ugin.
Not right now, because there's the ring.
Right. That would be a bad play then, going for Grief.
Do you have to target yourself then? Does it give you an option?
I don't know, maybe, yeah.
I love that you all are contributing to this. You're like literally Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Those are the corner cases that you have to know when you play Modern, right? They literally Twitch chat.
If there was an advantage bar, Thoralf.
I mean, Tron is miles ahead. Miles.
All right, I seen
it's 1 ring ahead.
I seen the first row, my friend Emanuele. You top-8'd the GP, the Limited Open. How did it go? How did the topic go? You lost the first round. It's okay. It's okay. Congrats anyway on qualifying to the next Pro Tour.
Whoa!
All right. We see Kalk and taps, draws, already has an 8 lane.
And we decided to make the token because if you don't want to cast your play your Besejo, you'll have 8 mana right away with the token. But also, more importantly, if you really draw any Tron land, you get to cast the game-winning spell.
Yeah, that's the thing with the ring. Just look how good it was. It came into play, it fogged 8 damage, and draws 3 cards.
Yeah.
And it only costs 4 mana. So.
Would you use it now and go up to 2? Is that safe?
looks like Kalk doesn't want to do it because obviously if you were going to do it, you would do it before playing your spell. So it looks like Kalk says, I have all I need. I don't need to take 2 damage a turn.
Ooh, going for Karn. What do you get in this situation? You have what? Because the creatures that you can use to block are fragile to remove his spells. Ah, yeah, you get Bridge.
A beautiful portal and snaring bridge from Christian Calcano.
And they have access to deck lists, so they probably know a bridge is not answerable in the main deck.
Yeah, no answers. There's no call against command. And I believe Kalk must have more than 3 cards in hand. Less than 4 cards in hand at this point.
Yes.
So that is, the Fury is gonna stay back now.
Yeah, and Mengu, how different it is to play a tournament with open deck list and closed deck list.
That's huge. It's huge. I mean, you need to think more about what are you putting out. But for example, if you play a deck like Tron with a Snaring Bridge, when you look at the deck list, you're thinking, all right, do they play Otawara? Do they play Flame of Aenor? Do they play Prismari Command? If they don't, then I know that Bridge is safe. Call against command, whatever it is. So you have to look at certain things. Obviously, you can't remember the whole list just by looking at it for 1 minute. But that's something you need to prioritize. And also, it's also a big deal for deck selection because you're gonna playing a deck like Meddling Mage, Humans. I remember when I was playing PT London, I believe, with the London Mulligan. We also, not only was the first London Mulligan event, was also the first open deck list event. And I was playing 4 Meddling Mage in my deck. So knowing what your opponent plays beforehand, it's an advantage. That's great. Now Humans, unfortunately, it's not good anymore, so you don't see it in Modern that much. But that would be another one.
Nice. I have a question for you, Mango. You're friends with Christian Calcano. Why do they call him the Calculator? I honestly don't know.
I mean, Calculator,
he's good at math.
Close enough.
I think it was before me. When I knew him, he was already the Calculator.
Yeah. Do you have like any MTG kind of name that people call you, just Mango?
Me? Yeah, just Mango. Just Mango.
Where does that come from?
Some people call me Gucci, but I don't love that much.
Gucci.
Yeah, I prefer Mango.
How does your grandma call you?
All my family is Mango.
Mango.
Everyone is Mango. Just very, very simple.
What is the best cooking mango?
Actually, do you want to know a funny story? I don't know if anyone is a fan of languages and things like that, but in Korean, the word mango means stupid. And once I had a teammate, a Korean teammate, and he told me that. I was like, yeah, that's something, I guess.
You're roasting yourself.
Yeah.
The FBI couldn't take that info out of me, but thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's good that we're up here and talking about things like this and not just having to comment this game, which is, it's clearly over, right? I guess Cal could die to his own ring, but it's highly unlikely. He also has the Ulamog coming down soon, exiling the ring to stop the 2 damage every upkeep.
Can anyone ever survive an Ulamog?
If you're playing a combo deck, I guess, but yeah, those combo decks are much rare now. Combo decks took a pretty big hit in Modern with the print of Ragavan in general, with the ban of Seaman Spirit Guide. There are, like you saw Dominic Harvey coming all the way to the top 4, but yeah, Ragavan is just such a pressure plus ramp.
You also have Force of Negation.
Yeah, Force.
All the elementals.
Subtlety, yeah, for sure. Force of Vigor as well, it's crazy good.
You play a combo deck that relies on collecting your spells, your opponent goes 4/3, discard 2 of your cards, and there's no coming back.
Yeah, this is the easier way to get rid of your own ring, just play a second copy of it. Very flavorful action going on right now. But yeah, we see that the ring exiles, destroys the first one. Kalk is not going to tap it anymore. He doesn't need to. Especially with the Zerin Bridge. I remember one time making a huge mistake on stream. I had the bridge, the game was locked. I just had the ring on 3 counters. I just want to draw some cards. I tapped the ring, drew 4 lands, died the same turn. That I was just I couldn't lose. So,
But this is important. You have to make those mistakes to realize that you don't want to make those.
Yeah, you don't want to tap the ring.
That's the point of the ring, that it tempts you and he sees how far you go.
Oh, yeah, it tempted you.
That's the lore of it, right?
It tempted me.
It tempted you a bit too hard. Here we have Karn.
Kalk with a -3 Karn. Let's see what's going to get. Again, you see all the selections there. You see a Cityscape Leveler. You see another copy of the ring, the fourth one. It's 3+1.
Basically, at this point, you just want something that closes the game or sets you up enough to survive until you cast Ulamog. I wouldn't be surprised to say something like a Haywire Might Soon, because they might get you 2 life in the process, or a Liquamente coding to destroy the third land as well. You're not afraid of any creature anymore. I don't even know. You go through your mind and think like, what do I remember from the deck list that could lose me the game? And I don't think there's anything at that point, but you go like, what if they draw perfect in a row? Could something happen? Like, for example, if they draw Blood Moon down, am I covered against Blood Moon? If they draw like a discard spell, do I fetch something right now? So you're taking your time because you're not under much time pressure, and then you figure out the best line.
Yeah, one of the things is that a calc sideboard, and just often when you play Card Creator, you have 15 sideboard cards of one of. No.
Game one here for
No. Just 2 games away from being the Pro Tour champion.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
And no sideboard now, right?
No. Ooh, we see on the screen there Fire Shoes. He's the official table manager. He's the great Twitter personality. Definitely follow him.
Who here is a fan of Fire Shoes and the work that he does for the community?
Yeah, right there. That's very cool. You see Jake here, just 24 years old, had his first Pro Tour in the top 8. That's amazing.
Had his birthday.
Today's birthday?
3 days ago.
Oh, 3 days ago.
2 days ago, on Friday.
Nice.
Imagine your best birthday present is just winning the Pro Tour. Could be nice.
And we see Jake's girlfriend. We saw it for a bit. She looked concerned. I mean, if Jake wins, she gets tackled again. I would be pretty nervous too. After what happened yesterday. So.
Wait, is that the actual trophy?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's tiny.
Yeah. It looks like.
That's okay, I guess. The big one was too big, maybe. I can say it was not too big. I think, I don't know about you, but I'm happy with the trophy being big.
Yeah,
Where did you put your PT trophy?
It's on my bookshelf.
Okay. I use mine a lot. During stream, every time I 5-0 a league, I just take it out and show it. You know, very active. My Mythic Invitational trophy is very active.
Did you do like the celebration?
Yeah. I was screenshot me holding the trophy and put it in the whatever, Magic Online.
So I wanted to say one of the
events.
tiny advantages of Tron
is not the trophy.
It's not the trophy, no. Because you play Karn the Great together, and I think you said that all your sideboard cards are for Karn. You don't actually want to sideboard because you're not gaining out of it. You know that a little bit from Pioneer, where the mono green deck also has only sideboard cards. So the top 8, this is not what you consider by playing the deck, but once you are in the top 8, you get an additional game of being advantaged because your sideboard is irrelevant. So you want to have no sideboarded games, so taking one of your opponent away makes you a bit more favored.
All right, we're seeing now live, actually, the players are looking at their hand.
Ooh.
Calc has...
That's natural.
That's natural
natural.
Tron. Yes. Natural Tron.
I mean, we hope for both players to have a good game.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you'd call it when you just open. It's like a natural Tron. It's like a natural D20.
Natural Tron. Yeah, that's natural Tron.
Natural Tron is when you just don't do anything for it. And it's just the best
It's the best one.
Yeah,
when you go like land go, your opponent knows the next one is gonna be the missing Tron land because otherwise you would mulligan your hand.
Yeah, it was a natural Tron.
Yeah.
In the top 8, I had a hand where I mulligan to 5. I had natural Tron and some other lands, so I bottomed both of the spells, and they cast Saucies, and I just had only the lands in hand, but it was natural Tron, so it was good enough to get there. But it's just, the deck is just crazy if you just have it.
That must be a Thoughtseize that felt so bad for your opponent.
Oh yeah, that was like, oh, only lands? I guess I discard nothing.
Yeah. That is a great feeling whenever you keep like 7 lands or lands like that. Okay, let's go. We're underway. Jake decided to keep his hand. He doesn't have Grief Evoke, he doesn't have Ragavan, doesn't have Blood. It was a tough keep for sure.
Yeah, but you also, this kind of advantage now, you can look for a second tower, so then you can cast Ulamog on 4 because you'll have the Star, the Sphere, and the Scrying. That will be prevented by the Thoughtseize, but with Star and the scrying, you can look through your deck to find other spells. I'm interested, I don't know if that came up during testing, both of them, like the Tron variants, don't play Blast Zone anymore because it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I guess like the problems right now aren't the one drops, right? If Hammer Time was very popular, maybe you would play Blast Zone, but now the problems are cards that cost more than 1 mana, so that's just too slow, I think. And you want to play 2 Bosejus, I believe. Both lists play 2 Bosejus, and then I need to play at least 3 Forests because of the Boseju Ren and 6 decks.
Yes.
So there's just not much space left.
That's crazy.
I believe Kalk is playing 1 copy of Gemstone Cavern, though. He found space for that one.
It would be so sick to make the difference because of Gemstone Covers. That's such a good land.
Yeah, that's the true luck counter there.
Yeah, when you're on the draw, it makes it so good.
All right, we see Kalk with the turn 2 Tron, Sylvan's Crying, and Sphere in the Exile Zone. Actually,
wait.
There
no. Isn't that really problematic now? Because you can cast the Ulamog? Because Thoughtseize takes it away, and then the Shadow plays the Ulamog.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Oh no!
Oh
Oh. Wait, don't. What?
Attack.
I mean, he's not. Yeah. Oh.
Just take it.
The twists.
Yeah, Kalk is not going to win this one.
Are you sure?
But it's okay, with 2 more.
Wait, what is the advantage bar on this one?
It's the player that has 3 lands versus 0.
And the Ulamog in play.
Yeah.
No.
It's okay, Kalk. It's okay.
Yeah, put it into the pile. Maybe you don't want to cast it.
Yeah, did Jake had the turn 1 Thoughtseize and just decided not to cast it?
Yes, yeah. The starting hand was Voidwalk and Thoughtseize, and obviously, once you have that combo set up.
All right, then congrats to Jake, who definitely played this well. Like, this is the pattern to know if you play against Tron. You don't want to run your turn 1 Thoughtseize if you have Dothi, because they have no removal spells, especially if they reveal Giganta. So you have a pretty safe turn 3 Ulamog.
Yeah, your payoff is also incredible.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Here we are. Now we're going to go to sideboard.
So that makes that want to sideboard out Ulamog?
I can see that, yeah. I mean,
even if for the trauma, right?
I mean,
I can see that. Like,
definitely feel bad, yeah. You had that game locked up.
There's 3 Blood Moons, so you are going to like Artcast a lot under the moon anyway.
Yes.
And you can't Artcast Ulamog. So I can see cutting. I believe Kalk is playing 2 Ulamog, so...
Yeah, that's very a reasonable consideration. Also, like, what are your removal spells for any creatures? You cannot get rid of the Voidwalker.
Yeah, you can bring in Pirate Spellbomb.
Now you want to keep that in your sideboard.
No, yeah, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, no.
That
So
be
it's not even that you can. You don't even have the dismembers. So you just you have to sideboard out the Ulamog.
Yeah, they were playing a couple of dismembers, and at the end they cut it for Pirate Spellbomb and something else.
I wonder if this would be. I mean, you have to also make space in your sideboard, but to actually play still cards in your sideboard that remove Giganta as a companion, but then just don't play Giganta when you don't need to. It's because like not having access to remove spells.
Giganta is a big deal in this matchup because Giganta is extremely good against under the moon because you can pay 3 with your Tron land, you can pay 5 for Giganta with your Tron lands because you have mountains, and then you start casting whatever green spell. So I think that Giganta is a must reveal in this matchup. I wouldn't expect Kalk to bring in explosives or
but for me, it seems like the games are quite quick. You have so many ways to lose fairly easily against the elementals with Undying Evil and stuff, but also now against the Voidwalker, Thoughtseize combo. You have Croxa, which is really...
I mean, I can see that this member is a better card for this matchup for sure.
Right.
And sideboard, all things change.
Let's have a look.
Advantage bar.
Let's have
where
a look
does it
at
go?
the.
Well,
at the
so there's Fatal
sideboard.
Push to cut for sure, and I believe maybe you want to keep some dismembers in, but I'm not too sure about it. But definitely Fatal Push to cut. You have 2 Blood Moons at least, and then what else do you have to bring in? You have
Chalice of the Void. You could bring in on the play sometimes if you have enough to sideboard out. That prevents Ancient Stirrings, Map, all the stars and spheres. That could be reasonable. You probably bring in the Croxa. The needle, if you can hit a map with that, that's pretty good. Or the Karn, if you see that. That's quite. I wouldn't even bring Shieldred. I wouldn't even bring Shieldred because that's just more clock.
Shieldred
Against the ring.
Yeah.
You have a lot of cards to take out. You don't need Fatal Push, Terminate, all of this.
I'm still shocked about the Ulamog.
You can board out all the Furies, or you keep them for the clock.
Well, Furies, you must keep them, yeah, for sure. Like, turn 1 Fury is like the best card you can imagine, especially against no dismember.
Right.
Like what Jake did game 1 was exactly the plan, basically.
And Oakish Bowmasters obviously is also gonna hang.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
Okay.
This is basically also the quickest modern format we have, right? Like, what's the time right now? It's like 5? 4?
Anyone
Yeah,
has time?
What's
In the
practice?
audience, 4:21.
When I played the finals, we finished at like 8 or so.
Really?
Yeah, because we had so many long games. But now, like, the Tron mirrors were quick. We already in game 3, which is quick. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Rakdos Evoke is one of the fastest decks for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I remember I was just, my rounds were over that fast. Tron is actually a deck that can go to time.
So I talked to Simon,
Especially when-
because we were asking, like, why is Tron in Barcelona so favored? And obviously that's kind of a ridiculous thinking. But he said to me that he felt his opponents were visibly more distracted by the heat by the time they went into playing their matches, and he felt relaxed because Tron is a very fast and like easy deck to play, and he felt like the advantage was feelable, that his opponents were exhausted, and he felt he makes the best decision. So maybe there's something onto it. I remember when I played Tron, it was really relaxing to have 10 minutes rounds and then just drink something, eat something, and be ready for the next round.
Yeah, and I just want to bring a point there because we can see the players shuffle, and Jake is his first Pro Tour, and I see how his hand is shaking. I don't know if anyone noticed while holding the cards.
Yeah.
This must be such a moment for Jake.
It's crazy.
Obviously, Calcano has been here forever doing these, making great results in tournaments. But for Jake, it's a first-time Pro Tour, and now in the finals. The pressure must be insane.
Yeah.
I believe this is the second top 8 for Calc. The first one was in Nashville with Zombies many years ago.
The best way to get rid of anxiety or like being afraid or all of this is to have the same situation repeatedly after another. Because once this is your 6th top 8, it probably doesn't mean as much to you because you've been in the situation, your body adjusts to the pressure. If it's your first time, you have nothing that compares to it. The stakes are high, the situations are so low, you're thrown into like this tournament situation, the lights, the attention, all of this, right? So it's very, very difficult, especially for somebody who's new to the tournament scene, to adjust to all of those conditions. People come to you, ask you for photos, interviews, the production team comes, and then all you want to do is play Magic.
Yeah, they
Tough
start asking where did you start playing.
I feel like a lot of people is gathering right now. This is very crowded. I like it a lot. Hello, how long? Take. All right. Ooh. Okay.
So
They
who's
still
for Tron?
mulligan in? Who's for Tron? Nobody.
Tron. I feel like Calcano has a huge crowd advantage.
I wonder why. No, yeah, Calc, obviously a great friend of mine, but if you've been watching Magic forever, he's been, GP grinder. He's probably been in your, you probably played a GP and Calc was there.
I mean,
every part of the world.
GPs, Calc was there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I
look at
believe
the
Calc is on 5, and his opponent, I'm not really following too much.
So his opponent kept on 6, and I saw a Voidwalker. Calc is, I think, debating to keeping this one land, scrying, star. So those are the lands, right? You have no other chance than to run the numbers. What are my chances of drawing a land? What is the land I'm playing? We see the land is an Urza's Mine, so that's one of the lands. Am I on the draw? I'm not in the draw, so I will have to play first. That keeps the draw away from me. I think there's Star and Ancient Stirrings. Is
Yeah,
that
I think Star Ancient Steerings is good enough.
yeah, you have to keep that hand.
I actually
especially-
want to hear for our crowd here, keep or mule?
Javier, what do you say, Javier? Keep? Keep.
Javier Dominguez.
Javier says keep, I
Some
would
applause,
keep.
Is
come
he
on.
keeping everything?
Congrats
I
on
would
World
keep.
Championship.
Congratulations on your top 8, Javier.
Fervent champion here
The
with
real,
us.
the
If
real
you're-
fervent champion.
If you're on 5 and you have Star, Stirring, and one of the lands plus Scrying.
Probably Calc was keeping, he was just deciding what to bottom.
All right, that's the clock. Game 1, that wasn't enough.
Yeah, and remember, Calc does not have access to this member, as you see Giganta in the companion zone, so he now needs to find first lands and then answers. Ooh, power plant. That's good. He has turn 3 Tron.
Yeah, and very fortunate he doesn't have a threat, so he can't get discarded.
Yeah. Yeah, so Calc was fortunate enough to draw the missing Tron land, so he's going to have the tower in his hand, 7 mana. Now, there is only 2 Karn Liberated, 2 Vermcoil Engine as the amazing payoff, but of course you also have the One Ring, Carnage Creator.
And one of the advantages also, you didn't have to fire off your Ancient Stirrings for one of the lands. So
Right.
that means now you can
But-
use it to find some spells you want to
But
cast.
you don't have colored mana for it.
No, not now, but you next turn when you have an edition map still, you can go for a forest, and then you can maybe cast it on 4. If you have no action, you want to find something, and that's the best card to find some action.
Okay.
You could also just place Giganta at one point because it's a 5/5 body.
Yeah, you 8 mana, but that's doable. Okay, so we see Fury knocking down Calc to 12. And then is that a follow-up? I see in hand
Ooh, second Bowmaster is quite
both
strong.
Bowmasters and or Dottie Woodwalker.
What answers does Christian Calcano ask for the Bowmasters?
Basically, Oblivion Stone. You can hit it with Warping Whale. That will remove it.
You also have Walking Ballista plus Karn, but now I need Calc's top of the deck to be Vermcoil Engine?
Wormcoil Engine. Yeah, Wormcoil Engine would be insane. Or is this mine? Okay, that's okay. We still...
That's tough now. Calc next turn goes to 1 life, and there's the Orcish Bowmaster in hand. So that is...
We're basically starting to play from the Trons.
That
Yeah.
is... it's not lethal, because we have Relic. So it's not over, I meant to say, because we have Relic. So Calc could cycle into the One Ring.
I mean, he's not dead right now, right? I guess he's basically dead on board with the Bowmasters.
Yeah.
Right. Relic. Unfortunately, now if you crack the Relic, you cannot play the Wormcoil Engine anymore.
Yeah, goes
So you
with
need to
exile.
find something reasonable.
Draw.
Come on, come on.
The One Ring.
What is it? Sundering Titan.
That's a weird cyber card. I guess if you're cutting the Ulamog, the way to replace it is Sundering Titan.
Which is reasonable because
Yeah.
once your opponent plays it on you, you still... They
have
lose
a
a lot
they have a
on the
7-10
process.
and lose a land, actually,
Yeah.
yeah. So it does make sense, but I think that Calc is...
In a lot of trouble.
yeah, because we know that Jake has in hand the Orc. So I believe
Is that a turn 3 win?
turn 3 win. That's a turn 3 20 damage.
Yeah, who plays Tron for 7
That's
mana?
like
You get-
Armor Time. Basically, that's like Armor Time.
The new Emmer time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, turn one Fury, and games like this, we're talking about before which version of Tron to play, whether Dismember or not, and you see now that Dismember would have been the best card to have for...
Dismember would have been such
Yeah,
a
I
huge
mean, it would've-
blowout in both games.
It would have
yeah.
gave him so much time, so much more time.
All right.
Oof.
Jake is 1 game away.
And there it is. Mengu, last member of Team Worldly Council here.
Yes.
Calc really needs to make it up. Speaking of teams, I see some members here of Team Handshake.
Yes, they're all gathered. I believe they are, very happy with their 2 members in the top 8 with Tron, of course. But over here, again, Jake, a Bursley member of the team Sanctum of All, another team that has been crushing it lately with 2 people in the top 8 at the Pro Tour in Minneapolis, and now at least one in Jake. And then, of course, Kalk for the Worldly Council, which is this brand new team that has been doing very well at this one.
Yeah, Jake chose a very good team for his first Pro Tour. We know that Kane Reynard did pretty well.
Made the
coming
final.
in second,
Made
right?
the final, yeah.
In the final, losing against Nathan. And also Rainbow Shed,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, they...
a stacked team there. I love how these teams are coming up and we see so many players testing more and more. That makes the game better because it makes the experience more intense. When you're testing so much, it gets so much more complex, and we get to see here this kind of plays.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
basically all about the work you put in.
With competitive Magic being back, with, you know, Pro Tours, the World Championship, ways to chain invites. You see a lot of Pro Tour competitors at this event manage to qualify for the next PT, the 2 next PTs. So this is definitely what motivates you to find a team to put extra effort, because you want... The biggest reason for Magic players at the Pro Tour is to just come back. Like, that's the goal of everyone.
Yes.
You want to achieve your goal in order to come back to play the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Just competing in these events, the one that we see right now, the finals on, is just such an honor that, you know, every Magic player wants to get. And once you try it once, you really want to taste it again.
Yeah, getting that Pro Tour train. And I really love seeing Paper Magic back again. We obviously did have a pause. And just this, seeing the face of our players, seeing their Christian Calcano making that mat with the end, seeing Jake handling the cards,
throw of the
throwing
Ulamog. Could never happen on Magic Arena or on Magic Online.
Yeah.
I love both Magic Arena and Magic Online, but Paper is better. Who here is a fan of Paper Magic?
Yeah. For sure. All right, the players are getting ready. Hopefully, no mulligan to 5 this time.
Yeah, this is the point where you pray. This is like one time. This
Pray
is
to
the
the
one
Tron
time.
gods. Actually, Kalk lost with natural Tron in hand, so, you know, anything could happen.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, he lost on turn 3. Like, he got Ulamog turn 3.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even manage to play the Tron. All right, what do we see? What do we see?
A tower, a map,
Okay.
a Bezeju.
Kalk is trying to make it as difficult as possible for people
So I can
to check.
I can tell you what our metrics were back then. If you don't have Tron in your hand, you throw your hand away.
No.
This is what we had.
No, Javier, no. We don't do that.
This is what it is.
No, we're playing against...
You get another 7.
We're playing against Thoughtseize and Grief. This hand has 2 maps, I believe, so you can get turn 4 Tron. It doesn't have 2 maps.
No, there's one map. He just doesn't have access. He needs to draw anything, and it's also the bad kind.
Right, whatever Kalk is going to do is the right choice, so, you know, it's fine.
Throw it away. Get a new 6.
Oh, look at that. Jake is already mulliganing, so I believe Kalk kept.
Woo! Let's see. This might be the last game of the weekend. It might not be.
No, it's not going to be. Kalk is going to win.
If Kalk wins, we
The
have a
best
game
hand.
5.
Look at that. How can you lose with such a hand? You know, you have 1 Ursus Tower,
Your opponent
1 map,
Yeah.
a bunch of... You have 8 drops.
Your opponent
That's all you
casts
need.
Voidwalker.
Actually,
Then Thoughtseize is the Ugin.
no. You have Relic. Relic is good against, like, if Jake has the same play as he did in game 1, which is Black Cliff Fury, Evoke, the Relic of Progenitus stops the Fury, I believe.
Yeah.
No.
Because you have the Undying Evil in the
that's
graveyard.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. So yeah,
Du-du.
it doesn't stop it.
It doesn't stop it.
Never mind.
No, it stops it, yeah, but because the Undying Evil came,
I'll put it on the stack.
but you have a different card in your graveyard. That's why you can't do it.
This is when you call the judge and ask and wait for the answer. Okay, so it would be stopped by a single fetch lands, which obviously Jake plays plenty of, but, you know, could happen.
Oh, there's Blood Moon. And the Ragavan.
Ooh.
Is that mulligan to 5?
Yeah.
It looks like more.
Wait, is it 4?
4. Yeah.
No, maybe it's 6 and it's just deciding. Looks like a draft.
I mean-
a draft pack.
Those are very
Pick up
strong
the
4
cards.
cards
You
to
have
keep.
10 seconds.
Draft. Shuffle your booster.
Okay,
First
move to
pick.
5.
Fury, very good in draft. All right, that's the hand. I don't know how many cards they are, but it's very time. It's 4. It's 5. It's 4. It's 4. It's 5. It's
5. It's 5, yeah.
All right. Turn 1
Final
Ragavan,
answer,
turn 2.
5.
Turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Blood Moon. Ooh, game number 4.
If you draw any black spell, you can also Grief as a protection.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's go. Turn 1 Relic versus turn 1 Ragavan. Click and taps, take a draw. See, he started with Relic to play around the turn 1 Fury or Grief without a fetch land, as we were talking about.
And the crypt was drawn here, Tormod's crypt.
Ooh, Tormod's crypt, wow. That's surprising.
Yeah, it's one of those things because you never want to wish from your card for Tormod's Crypt at the given time because it doesn't prevent what you want to do it. You sideboard it in because the moment it is important is on turn 0 or 1 to cast it.
All right, let's remember that Kalk has access to 2 Boseiju. So despite 1 is in play now and the Blood Moon is gonna shut it down, there's another one in the deck.
And Sylvan Scrying, technically castable, although probably not desired.
I would say that the starting hand from Kalk was not amazing, but under a turn 2 Blood Moon, there is not too much to do anyway.
And if you had to give the advantage here to someone, Thoralf.
Scam looks quite decently ahead. It depends. It's not that much. Kalk can definitely draw his way out. He has the map to find the Boseiju. I think the green mana is missing, so we need to draw a forest or any other way.
He needs Mulligan to 5. Jay kept Grief, which is excellent, because next turn Jay can go attack, land, Grief. So his 5 cards end was very good, and you know it might not need too much to...
The good part is it's not the fastest start, so you can cast a 1 ring, but if you only have 1 copy of the 1 ring, your opponent can take away. We see Oblivion Stone, that's huge. If you cast Oblivion Stone and you get to 5 mana, you set up the board that you have Tron and cast your big spells, and you don't seem to die that quickly, so Oblivion Stone is enormous.
Yeah, so Kalk here decides to go for Stone rather than going for Crack the Map to cast the ring.
Before it gets discarded, cast a ring.
Yeah, because he has a ring in it, doesn't he?
There's a Blood Moon.
Yeah, the 1 ring.
But he only has 3 mana.
Yeah, you can crack the map to guarantee
for next turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he just wants to protect it from getting discarded, which I think is just very correct.
Yeah, makes sense. The Stone in plays is nice because the clock of just Ragavan is not that fast.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if we've seen Scam killing on turn 3 the previous game, it's not going to happen this one.
And here, look at that Grief.
So Kalk even has the 5 mana. No, he doesn't have the 5 mana set up because he needs to crack the map twice, which costs way too much mana. If he draws a land...
Yeah, he just needs to draw 1 land.
In this draw step or the next one, I think it looks quite good.
Yeah, Jake is thinking about it because he might discard map to discard the guaranteed 5th land.
But then you leave the ring for free.
Yeah.
Leaving the ring seems...
I mean, again, this is what I was talking about before. The obvious play is to take the ring, but now you're thinking...
Yeah, you definitely go through the levels.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go through all the levels and decide what if, but you know, ultimately decides to go for the 1 ring.
All right, is this a land? It's huge. If this is a land, we're going to see a good game.
We are back
and
on
remember,
the game. Come
these
on.
are old mountains, so Kalk cannot get Tron.
Look, is it?
What is it? Chromatic Sphere. Okay, that's good. That's a redraw. Your map needs 2 mana. This Sphere draws a card by casting 1. That's fine. It's also a way to create green, but right now you don't want to look at anything that makes green.
Yeah,
but you could draw Ancient Steerings or Sylvan Scrying.
And we see that Jake has in hand another Ragavan and Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Yes, that is probably not good enough if your opponent resets the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Jake has his lowest draw with Blood Moon, which is, you know, good of course, but it's not as good as the turn 1 Fury plus Blood Moon. Because Tron can slowly battle through this.
Yes. Here's one of the considerations I was talking about. You have a sphere in hand. In order to maximize the goal you want to have, the 5th land, it would make sense to cast the sphere first and cycle because you want to draw the next land. If you right now fetch for a land, you have 1 last land in your deck. It's a tiny amount of percentage, but it makes a difference in the end.
Also, Sylvan Scrying. You're cutting yourself out from the out of drawing Sylvan Scrying, which you cannot cast now.
The question is not... Yeah, for example, if you find something because you don't have green that removes the Blood Moon, then you could then destroy, use the Oblivion Ring. Ah, it's so close.
And Mengu, did you talk with Kalkano about how he felt about this particular matchup?
I mean, if you bring,
Definitely cast it now. Sorry.
if you played this Pro Tour, you tested against Rakdos a million times because everyone expected it to be the most popular deck.
Use it now. Use it now. Yeah, using it now. Good. If you draw Ancient Stirrings, you need to get the land. It's very good.
Yeah, let's go.
If this is Ancient Stirrings, that was perfect. The One Ring. Okay.
All right, we're passing now.
One Ring is
oh,
good.
no, actually, he can cast Map. Yeah, he has 1 mana floating, so he can cast Map.
But I'm not sure if you want to cast map. Yeah. If the mana pans out that you want to crack the stone before cracking the map.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, makes sense, makes sense. So Kalk goes down 2 and reveals.
Oh.
Okay, sure. And Jake passes. Jake doesn't play. No, never mind. He's not passing. He's like hoping that Kalk breaks on land.
Wow, that's... I mean, it makes sense, right? I think you kind of have to hope, because once that Oblivion Stone is gone, your hope for winning the game is also gone. So that says...
Let's see.
Let's
this
see
is important.
what is. Come on.
Tron. Oh, it's a sphere. But that's fine, we have the ring. The ring
Yeah,
is...
the ring is going to give us 3 cards and at least 1 extra turn.
We have the One Ring. The card of the weekend.
The card of the week, yeah.
The most
card of
popular,
whole
the most
tournament.
popular card at the Pro Tour Barcelona, with 4 players playing the full playset in the top 8.
It's also crazy that it stays around after you use your
Destroy
stone.
with the stone, for sure.
So you can draw more cards. That was not a land, that was a might. That
That's a way
technically-
to exile the ring, though, later in the game.
If you find green, you can also remove the Blood Moon. Yeah.
All right, he has a star. So, it takes a while, though, but we will see.
No, it's just, then you have 5, it's exactly enough, right? I know
Yeah, but like you have to handle the board state. The Blood Moon
play
is
Sphere.
secondary right now.
if you draw another land, you can do all of this, but then you can
Yeah,
just
if you have
use
another
this-
land, you can already. Okay, so discard still Ragavan, draws 2. Let's see what's up here, because of course now the ring means that Jay can't play this spell, can't attack, or rather can't attack with the token to get a treasure. All right, Kalk takes a point, goes to 10.
Yeah,
And now
there's nothing left. You have
he
to.
needs to hit the lead in the top 3 cards, which is, the odds are in his favor, I would say.
That would be such a heartbreaking break. Oblivion Stone. All right, there's 2 more. Also, another ring would also buy so much more time.
If there's no ring, if there's no land, can the Ewar Might
So you have
be
to
enough?
play a star first. You have to play a star,
Well,
cycle through. That means you're left with 3
You can,
mana
you can
after.
also block with the Might to prevent 2 damage, gain 2 life.
It works quite all right if you draw from the sphere that makes the green another land, because then you can maybe use the land you play for the might, and you have 5 mana left from the Tron lands. That also works.
Yeah,
I
lots
think
of
he's
this,
debating to do that first because he doesn't want
Whoa.
the ring to be on that high of a number.
Whoa, it's weird. Although,
All right, that's Sphere. Sphere is gonna make green. But now you can't use the stone at all.
yeah.
Oh wow.
So Kalk decided that the odds of drawing a land in the top 2 were, I guess,
Not high enough?
not high enough.
But you
to
still
make
had the
this
backup
play.
of the might.
Yeah.
It's such an intense game.
It's crazy.
And Jake actually moved to 5.
Yeah, I mean the perfect 5 basically. But you can see Ragavan into Blood Moon.
Yeah,
is-
you see that Jake has Feign Death in end, so even if Kalk pops up the stone, Jake is gonna be able to save the grief, which is obviously.
you can save the green because the Torment Script doesn't do anything.
Oh,
It gets destroyed in the same process.
yeah. So okay, so Kalk would need to.
All right, that's the draw.
Let's see.
No, yeah,
the
no.
draw.
The Storm Skip doesn't do anything.
Yeah, here in the crown land.
Karn.
All right, so there was no
There was no
land in
land
the top
after.
2,
and
so
another
I-
Stirrings. So that leaves you with the might. But now you don't have a green right away. So you
Yeah.
need to find a forest?
he has a green floating. I know, but like you kind of wanted to block with the might.
Yeah, you wanted to block with the might.
That green is going away.
We're all silent over here, just waiting for the next play. This is very intense moment.
That is ancient stirrings. You have to find a forest, basically.
I guess.
Land.
Okay, so.
Sphere.
I just wonder what would have
Gemstone
happened if he
covers.
had played the map a few turns ago to guarantee the 5th land when he had 1 mana floating.
But you wouldn't have gotten it on time.
No, I know, but he could have played it. Yeah, true.
So if you find a colorless land and you play the might, you can block one of the creatures. You're not dead. It's fine.
Then you gain some life.
You gain some life when she dies. Yes, that's true. I think
Unless-
this is still quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Man, what an intense game.
You probably block Ragavan, that would kill Ragavan in the process. You could reasonably assume that your opponent boarded out all of the removal spells. So Haywire Might is not very likely to get destroyed by Fatal Push or some of that sort.
You still can't block the Grief because of mana, so you have to put it in front of the Ragavan, for example, and pop off the Blood Moon, I guess, but you can't if you don't have Forest untapped.
Yeah. Then you have your own ring.
Yeah. You also can't take too much damage because you have to take 2 damage from the ring all the time.
Yeah, draw cards. It comes with a cost.
So now, actually, what you said, Andrea, with exiling your own ring is not an option anymore because you have to exile the Blood Moon.
Yeah.
So you might die to your ring. That would be so
Yeah,
ironic.
That would be ironic for MagicCon
That would be-
Barcelona.
yeah, that would
that's
I
be
feel like
true.
the line,
Crazy end.
I mean, in hindsight, was just tap to draw 2 cards to get a 5th land. If you fail, you just go Mire, Sphere Pass, and then just exile your ring. But you still don't have the 5th land in that case anyway.
So he took a sphere.
He grabs a Sphere.
Plays the might. I mean, at this point, you can play the sphere and cycle. Because you play the might anyway. The mana left open doesn't give you anything. But from this sphere, you could draw a forest. That would be huge. Drawing a forest now?
What do you do with it? Oh, okay.
Well, you can
okay.
use the might because you
Yeah.
still have 1 left.
Yeah. It's 3
Oh,
forests.
that's a
in the-
land. Ah, it's a mine.
Okay.
The tension is so high.
Okay, so right now we can go Haywire
Such a game.
Might. Exile the ring pass? How about that?
And here you can see all of this, like, Tron might be hated a bit on it's a difficult, easy deck to play, but you see how many decisions to have.
Have your thumbs up on my line. So I think I made a right line.
What is your line?
Haywire Might, exile my ring pass.
Okay.
Is it the line?
I think I found it. It's interesting because Calc, of course, picked up Sphere over Might, so he probably, he was thinking, I need a green mana to make this happen. I need to top deck land or else I'm dead. And he top decked the land.
In German, we have a saying, a blind duck sometimes finds food.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. All right, there it is. Yeah, Calc is doing it.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Okay, so we gain 2 life here, super important. And now the Haywire Might does not deal damage anymore. Sorry, the ring does not
that's
deal
good.
damage anymore.
So the maximum you take here is 7.
No, yeah, 7, yes.
There's not much that can happen. You get Thought Seized. This is annoying. But you have the stone in play. So that means you're getting rid of everything, but also because you can use it on your opponent's turn, there's no Dash Dragavan,
Right.
because you do it in combat. You get access to your lands again.
Let's hope
Staying
there's
alive.
not... Okay, good. Let's hope there's not 1 ring, because
The
that would have been
forest.
huge. All right, now Jake is probably Thought Seizing,
Yes, you have to Thought Seize.
but the biggest threat is on the battlefield right now.
And Karkana's hand is full of threats.
Is there a way where Tormund Script stops the Undying Malice? There isn't, right?
No, there's not.
You crack the stone.
And then it dies at the same time as the creature.
Yeah,
and then
no, it's impossible. Yeah.
If you put a fate counter on your crypt, that would work. But
Obviously.
there's not much enough time.
Yeah, and it doesn't have time or mana to do that. So yeah, Oblivion Stone is super important to deal with the Blood Moon and all the threats. Like, there's no card that would do that for just cheap, for just 5 mana.
I think we're very close to a game 5.
We are?
It looks very good.
Do you think we are close to a game 5?
All right, guys, we have not that many packs left.
But we'll give them
we do,
all
we do.
away.
We have some. They're all Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth collector boosters. Again, we don't have that many, so at the end of this game, we're going to hand out some. So stick around.
Yeah. And cheer on.
And cheer on, yes indeed.
Yeah.
I'm very tense right now. Very tense right now, you know. I'm supposed to try to be, yeah. No,
I think
okay.
now we're over the toughest part. Now we're cruising to victory. Because you also know they can't do much on 5 life. They're not lightning bolts. You're not afraid to dying to many burn spells. Once you set up Karn on bridge again, or you play your blockers, if you find a Wonka engine, that would be great.
And despite Jake mulligan to 5, this has been such a great game and so difficult for Christian Calcano that spent the whole time trying to stay alive.
Yes, exactly. Staying alive. The good part about the Oblivion Stone is also you destroy all of those treasure tokens, so that means there's not enough mana to set a big threat for next turn anyway.
That's a great point. I was thinking that Jake could Arcast Fury post-combat, but he can't. No. He doesn't have 5 mana. What is Jake's hand? It's Fable, Fury,
Undying Evil.
Wait, so he does play Lightning Bolt. Oh.
Did he sideboard in a Lightning Bolt? Or was
there is 2 Lightning Bolts.
There's 2 Lightning Bolts in the sideboard.
What? Oh, that's crazy.
Well,
no, I mean, it's cool, but I've never heard of that before.
Lightning Bolt, it's a very common
here's
card.
the strategy. Opponent is on 5. You have 2 Lightning Bolts in your deck.
All right, what happened here? Kalk Tormod Crypt himself, so that Karn the Creator could get things from his sideboard.
Yes, that's very smart. If your graveyard doesn't matter, what are you copying?
Griff.
Oh, okay. One more discard. And that's a heads-up play to play against Ragavan Dash, because...
Yeah, so Kalk decided to play around Ragavan Dashter rather than this play. And knowing that Jake has a Lightning Bolt in end, playing around Ragavan Dash...
would have been lethal.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Ragavan, but yeah. So it makes sense. Like, you can see that it looks like a mistake,
but... so full of action, you can afford yourself. Next turn, you're going to cast Thundering Titan to steal 2 lands. You can cast an Ugin.
Yeah, Ugin, Thundering Titan. These are both great hits. Although, we know that Jake has a Feign Death in end, so he's going to be able to discard 2 threats this turn.
Yeah, but you still have green for another Ancient Stirring. You find some stuff. You can play another Oblivion Stone.
And here we see Jake taking a look at Christian Calcando's lands.
You could even think about... I guess you want to Grief, but you could also think about undying the Fable, because that means you get another 2 draw steps of Lightning Bolt once you rummage away.
And now it's Jake time to go deep in the tank. We've seen Kalk thinking for so long earlier with the...
I think that might even be the play, because the Grief doesn't do much.
It has mana, somebody said.
Yeah. But you have 2 red mana. No, you have... What is the other one? It's 2 Blood Crypts? Or is that a fetch land? I think that's the Bloodstained Mire.
So yeah, Grief comes into play tapped with 1 counter on it. Yeah, everything else is going away. And Kalk leaves. Kalk can also go Giganta. That's another play, but of course Thundering Titan sounds much better. Kalk doesn't even have Forest, but it's Boseiju, so it doesn't die to Thundering Titan.
The problem about the Thundering Titan is
there's Lightning Bolt in end, and Kalk doesn't know about it.
But you can't fetch before, but you can fetch after. I guess that's fine. But you're also on 5, and that's Menace. That's Menace, so you have to get rid of Grief.
Yeah, Ancient Steering, so we're going to have plenty of choices here.
So Thundering Titan actually loses the game.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Maybe
I mean,
we don't get a game 5.
Is this game?
There's
not yet.
Karn Liberated. Karn Liberated would be amazing.
You get a lot of
Creator can get...
Hey, come on.
What is this?
Ooh.
Karn,
what's
Whopping Whale.
What did you guys see?
Relic.
Karn Liberated?
Oh.
Bene.
So they can
Creator.
get Walking Ballista?
He has 6 mana, so he can go for Ballista for 3.
That will be enough to block.
Yeah,
you can go for bridge. You don't have that many cards.
In upkeep, you can also play around Feign Death that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play the ring, but the ring is scary at 5 life against the lightning bolt. So, yeah, ensnaring bridge. Does Jake have answers to ensnaring bridge in the sideboard? Like cast into the fire, call against command.
Engineer's explosive, which I doubt
explosive
is
does
in
not
there.
answer
No, there's
it.
no answer.
So
there could still be the option of Shieldred if that's boarded in.
Shieldred the Apocalypse. And there it is. The ensnaring bridge. Plays forest. Tops the tower. So Kalkazina just... How many cards does he have? If he has... Okay, if he has 1 card, it's perfect, because don't die anymore to Ragavan anymore. I don't know how many cards he has in the end. 1, Thundering Titan, okay. Double lightning bolt would be lethal, of course.
Yeah, if you draw the other lightning bolt, that would be so crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a second
two lightning bolts
bolt.
in the sideboard. No answers to the ensnaring bridge. Yeah, Calc, remember, Tormod script himself earlier so that Carminus can go get something from the sideboard and from the exile zone. Sometimes old cards have written pick up a card from outside of the game, which usually means sideboard, but Kron, the great creator, specifically says also from the exile zone.
Yeah.
This had been such a great game.
Yeah.
It's like so many, it could go either way.
But this is the kind of Magic that is good, right?
Yeah,
It's when we actually get a game that can go both ways.
And of course, there's also the stake. Like, we're playing for a Pro Tour Finals title. Like, this is why you have so many people here watching, because tournaments like this matter for Magic. You know, the reason why we're already here in Barcelona is because this is the Pro Tour. This is the final. We need tournaments like this. So Fury gets rid of Karn, but that's okay. We have Thundering Titan in end. Which can't attack, remember.
It's interesting, yeah. He decided that he doesn't want to cast Fable and not look for the other lightning bolt because he thinks there's still game with the Karn going from the battlefield. I don't know.
Yeah, Karn Kalk decides not to... Oh! The great creator from the top. What does he go good? Wormcoil Engine? I believe it didn't board out any.
So depending on the deck lists, let's assume you know that you can't really die. There's Kroxa also that deals damage. If you know that the only thing you're dying to is Lightning Bolt, you could remove them from the deck. You can cast Chalice on 1, it also works. There's not much to gain life from that point. You could get the second Haywire Mind if it's not boarded in. That could be one of the solutions.
It's Exile Tormod script.
Yeah, you can get that.
Yeah, Hero Might, but I don't know. I'm sure you have something better.
You could also try to cut your opponent off of all the lands with Necromancer coding.
Yeah, you can start Necromancer coding the Blood Crypt. I don't know about that.
Yeah. And we can see on the screen
you can also plus
sideboard.
1.
Oh, you can also, and I guess you cannot make any creature big. You could use Walking Ballista and then pump it. Even though you can't attack, you can at least put out a clock.
Yeah, Walking Ballista is a way to win under your own bridge, because you can make it into a 1/1 shooting, and then you pump it after combat, and then you do that every turn. That's one of the ways to win under your own ensnaring bridge with Walking Ballista. But again, this is not the problem right now. The problem right now for Kalk is not dying to the 2 Lightning Bolt and 1 Kroxa.
How reasonable is it that you assume that your opponent brings Lightning Bolt? I think it's very reasonable.
Yes.
Because they had a lot of dead cards. Lightning Bolt ups the clock. I agree. You have to.
Yeah, but then there's also Kroxa, which is lethal too. Once, you know, if you play around that. So it's weird, because you play, like, your opponent bolts you to 2, and then he has Kroxa, and then you lose the next turn.
I agree.
I guess the Karn could get rid of Kroxa. So we'll see. I mean, again. All right. Of course, in Magic, you can't think forever. You have to make a decision. Even if untimed match, the judges will tell you you have to make a decision.
What would be your decision there? Let us know.
Might to get. Most people are saying might. Kalk is going for Walking Ballista for 3 instead. and passes.
One of the advantages of this is once the ballista is big enough, you can kill the Grief. If there are no creatures on the board, you can start collecting cards in your hand and then turning the bridge into a creature, starting attacking with the bridge. You can make the walking ballista small on purpose and then attack and then create a bigger walking ballista with the mana.
There's also Orcish Bowmaster, which shoots face. That's another one.
That's another way, yeah.
So you have Lightning Bolt, Orcs. So the Rakdos Evoke deck has a lot of direct damage, actually.
But then walking ballista is great because you only get 1 damage from the Bowmaster.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. No, it's fine.
No.
We're not dead.
Kroxa was not used?
Wow. Jake draws, passes immediately. Jake is waiting for Kalk to empty his hand so that Kroxa can kill him.
Because you know he has the Titan in hand.
And it's such a smart play there by not playing the Kroxa and waiting on.
Also, it was very quick. No, actually no.
The question is, will Kalkano play around it? Kroxa plus Lightning Bolt.
Definitely. It's in his head.
I don't know if, I guess you can play around it for sure. But I don't know.
At this point, when you know your opponent's deck list, you're just figuring out what you lose to.
Yeah, as you said last time, you play much better when you know what to play, in a situation like this where he's very restricted of things to play around rather than just...
Since they know the deck list from the whole time, if you go into the finals, somebody tells you or you think of, okay, once I have the bridge situation, what do I lose to? And then you go through it even before to make a mental check mark. I can only lose against Lightning Bolts and Kroxa. So he knows right now this is the only thing he needs to do.
So you see that Kalk doesn't cycle the star, maybe for this exact reason. Okay, so Titan's gonna destroy Blood Crypt, Swamp, and Forest. So Jake right now doesn't have the out of Thoughtseize Kroxa Bolt, which was the out before.
What is the out here? Is there any?
Lightning Bolt would still be lethal.
You're also not losing very quickly because there's a bridge. Bridge counts for both players. The Sundering Titan has way too much power to ever attack in the game again.
No.
There.
Okay.
I think there's also debatable if the Titan actually has any use, because maybe the mana is just best used on pumping your ballista to a point where you can attack. Right now, if you kill the Grief, you can attack with ballista.
Okay, you see Kalk get in tower because that's the win con. You wanna, as I said, kill Grief, pump ballista, attack, shoot you, post combat, pump the ballista. So that's actually a very fast clock with this much mana.
This is a very intense matchup here. It couldn't be a better way to end this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we hope it's not the end.
No. I'm saying overall in terms of these games that we have been seeing.
Oh. The good part is, okay, here's the good part. If he plays it, he can still draw, so that leads to the point where he can. But also, if Jake remains on 2 mana,
it's in Italian.
If Jake remains on 2 mana, he cannot cast Kroxa and Lightning Bolt at one point. But if he has Lightning Bolt after, that would be yeah. So you have to draw from the sphere. Oh.
You were the one that landed this deck to Kalkano?
Yeah.
Nice.
He can still use Karn. So he can pick up a card that he can discard.
Well, I think he wants to get the Aware Might. He's just checking if that works, but I believe he knows. Like, he Tormo script himself for that exact reason. But just doing the final P2, so...
Maybe his plan is also just to blow up the bridge. Yeah, that would be great. Play the Might, blow up the bridge.
4. Okay, please, don't play the Sphere. It's important. Oh, I think it was just because it's +1, it's up to... You don't have to force to target the bridge. Because Karn says +1 up to an artifact, non-creature artifact becomes a...
If you play the Sphere, yes, he said pass.
Okay, he said pass.
Yeah, and this is, you're watching a Pro Tour Finals. Kalk playing around a 1 of and a 2 of out of 2 cards to not die. And, for us it's easy because we watch the hand, but, once you're there, you just, okay, I'll start a turn by cycling the star, you draw land, and now you lose the game.
But that's why he got so far, right?
Oh, Bullface. All right, now...
Go to 2.
Now there's the out. Because now Jake is hoping that Kalk has a land in hand, basically.
which is good because then Croxa's out of the way.
All right, Lightning Bolt is lethal.
Oh wait,
What's up? Okay, pumps the. I guess Calc wants to kill the Grief. To play around Undying Malice so that he. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. All right. No Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is lethal.
Okay, let's see. What's the top deck here?
That was not a bolt.
A Bowmaster.
Wow.
Whoa.
Remember, Calc can
Calcano
gain
get
life
2
with
life.
the Hayward Might. Remember that. You can gain life with the Hayward Might. But it still would make another Lightning Bolt lethal now. Because Calc goes to... Oh, no, never mind. That's not true.
He can kill Ballista.
Oh, yeah, it's true, actually. The Hayward Might brings you to 4, but Orc Face plus Lightning Bolt is lethal.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's true. No, but Jake has to go for it.
The
Oh, it's Croxa.
It's Croxa.
I feel... Yeah.
So now he's dead. Now Calcano won. He just removes the bridge and attacks.
It's 9 life.
Yeah, it's enough.
All right. Let's see if Calc sees the line. Calcano.
Calcano. Calcano.
Calcano. Let's do it. Storm mode scripting yourself instead of your opponent. That is not an intuitive play. This game was full on an intuitive play. Calc made them all.
Are we going to have a game 5?
Yes. It's lethal on the stack. Pump the Ballista, not even pump the Ballista, doesn't even matter. Just turn him sideways.
What a game! It's raining collector boosters of Lord of the Rings.
This is grown man candy.
Yes. It's better than candy.
It's better than candy.
Yes.
It can buy you candy. It can buy you more candy. Oh, wow. There
That
was so
was
many
such
twists
a
and
game.
turns, yeah.
I was like so nervous for both
After all this
players.
effort, Calc has to win. You don't just make a game 4 like this and then lose game 5.
We had like 30 minutes game 4, and then game 5 is going to be like game
like Grief
2
turn
turns.
1.
Okay, bye. But how exciting is that we are having a game 5? I want to hear you all. Come on. Yay! Who here loves paper magic?
This is the last game of the Pro Tour. Game 5, very exciting. I don't remember if last PT went to 5 games. Maybe Nathan can refresh our mind. 4 to 3? 4? 3-1. So yeah, this is a game 5, which is obviously... Ooh, look at that, look at that. All my teammates right there watching the PT from the behind the scenes.
Shout out to Team World Elite Council.
Of course, because you're much closer there, so...
Yeah.
But you have to stay very silent. Because the players are right there. You can't just scream as much as we're doing right now.
And
Yeah,
they don't
here
get
you can make
boosters.
all the noise.
And they don't get boosters, that's right.
And they don't get boosters, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not because of us.
It's also like... I mean, if we tell them the boosters are empty, do you think they will be... we will have plenty of boosters.
We have much more.
No, it's not just,
No,
just
we still-
4. But we had so many, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Did anyone open anything cool?
Atraxa! Woo!
Ooh, that's nice.
That's nice. There was one Atraxa deck in the tournament who did decent, top 16. Lost the winner in Marco Vassallo.
Oh, wow, very
Yeah.
good. A lot of the rogue decks are
Did
very,
well.
Like,
yeah.
did well.
I think a
because-
lot of the decks that were like just good against Tron did like surprisingly well because maybe like they didn't expect as many Tron and just found some good matchups in the top tables.
We can see there the players that are already qualified for the World Championship. It's really nice that they're showing. I love the variety on the flags.
Yeah.
We see players from all over the world, and a lot about Magic is the gathering. That's why we are here.
Yeah, this new system by William Jensen definitely diversified pro Magic as much as possible. Whereas before, most of the GPs were focused in North America and Europe. And so, at Worlds, you were often seeing people from, same countries. Now with the regional championship, giving, Worlds invite there, as well as, of course, they're giving, I think, more Pro Tour invite in less, just less popular Magic areas. So I feel like now there's much more diversity in the Pro Tour than it was before.
Yeah, I cast some of the regional championships here in Europe, and I see new players that make it into the World Championship, into the Pro Tour. And we see here, for example, Jake being the first time in such a tournament and in the finals.
Yeah, and he can be the new Pro Tour champion as he's on the play with a matchup that it's in theory favorable for Rakdos Evoke. So,
Yeah, being on the play is huge.
being on the play with a positive matchup in Modern is nice.
And I was like,
Who do you think is going to win?
All right, yeah, this is
Yeah.
that match is amazing. Calc with the very early lines of like setting up the 5th mana for Oblivion Stone, killing his own ring. That was super important because otherwise it just dies to the ring. You almost died to burn spell. The ring would have one more turn of the ring and Calc would have lost.
yeah, it's also very important to get to the point of the ring. It basically decides in the first 4 turns. Can you get set up that Tron can beat it, or when Tron gets to the Oblivion Stone, or any bigger spell.
Yeah.
Crazy. I still can't believe the
definitely
Ulamog.
a masterclass of the how to play Tron. And all right, the players are opening their hand. Please, Calc, don't send it back.
So in the end, it was a good keep. Would you say?
Yeah, if you won,
Yeah, you won.
It's the right one.
It's a good keep.
So we believe in results. We believe in results.
So the problem now, if Javier does that, then he plays better than everybody else. So you keep more hands because you play better?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he won a lot because he kept more 7 hands. That's the lesson. No, but I remember playing Tron a couple of times and just keeping bad hands all the time, just being bailed out by the deck. It feels good. Oh, last time I played Tron, I had like Power Plant Tower in play. I cracked them up and clicked the wrong land, take Power Plant instead of mine. I just drew mine for turn.
And they say Tron is easy.
All on record. All right.
I'm sure you have some fun clips in your Twitch channel.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the players have their hands down, so I think they both kept hopefully 7 each. How much? Let's see.
We have their...
6 versus
tower.
7.
Okay, it's not safe. Power plant and a tower, stirrings but no green.
There's a
and
scam turn 1. There's a grief turn 1.
And Undying Malice.
Yes,
Oh.
we do have the grief. Turn 1.
But it's quite interesting. What do you take? If you take Wormcore Engine and the 1 ring, you kind of leave Calcano with no business, but he gets some form of fixing. If he draws green, he can stir and assembles the hand. But if you take Stirrings and Progenitus, Calcano bricks another Tron piece, but has payoff if he does.
That's such a great hand, even as a Blood Moon and Lightning Bolt. That's just like perfect, a perfect starting hand for Jake on the play of the Game 3 of the finals.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must feel really
The hand
nice
from Calc
here.
is not even good.
Yeah, but it's
Like you keep it, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
not
this
good.
one you
It's
have
not a good
to
end.
it's not
So he goes for ring
unwinnable.
and Wormcore Engine. Okay,
No, it's
I
not
like
a
that.
winnable. You can still naturally draw Tron and be bailed out, but Calc decides to go for the payoff.
If you
Of
draw
course.
mine now, then your deck unlocks. So any Oblivion Stone you draw is already good enough. Blood Moon.
I'm really excited
powerful.
to see what we see there. And we didn't see that Giganta being played yet. The companion.
I don't think it's too relevant.
Yeah, which is kind of maybe like why you should drop it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a Karn, not too relevant.
All right, let's see.
Starting to...
Jake draws the 3rd land, so guarantees a turn 3 Blood Moon.
Jake still has Lightning Bolt and Blood Mood.
Many good
and
draws. Any star, any forest, any sphere. Obviously, any mine. Another tower. So close.
2 mana, 1 mana cycle, draw a card.
Another card.
Kalk has a very dysfunctional draw this game, which is, again, what you have to do against the Rakdos Evoke deck. Sometimes you just keep your hand and just, hope your top of the deck serves you well.
The good part is Grief doesn't kill you as quickly. So he plays Blood Moon, you play your 3rd land, you go down to 12, then you go down to 8, then you play Karn. If Karn gets attacked, then you don't take damage, you stay at 8. Karn doesn't die, but you also can't really fetch anything. If he attacks you, Karn can fetch something to destroy. So if it stays as it is, it's still pretty much anybody's game.
Yeah.
Jake with a very fast turn 3 Blood Moon. He wants to finish this game as fast as possible, grab that trophy. Let's see, draw step.
Sylvan's crying.
No action for Kalk, who has 3 non-basic mountains in play.
Now there are also a lot of bricks. Didn't even return Giganta.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Okay, they're not too relevant. Except for it puts more damage, but it's not lethal.
We reveal
Oh, it's lethal Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, we still have the Lightning Bolt in hand.
But it's also just evoked.
Yeah, the Giganta there would have been better, but I don't know. It doesn't look like
Taking one of the cards
right,
away.
Two turns. 2 draw steps.
The clock is real.
Biggest one would probably be Forest. This is a Forest.
Cheer up for Forest.
I think literally no outs at the moment.
I feel like I'm in a sitcom because like every time we have a reaction,
Yay!
yeah, no.
all right. Still, we are crowning a Pro Tour champion here.
We
Jake
have a champion. Jake Beardsley is our champion here for MagicCon Barcelona. Come on, cheer on up for Jake. Great games. Cristian Calcano for the very sportsmanship from him. A great player. Oh, this time she didn't get tackled. And imagine this, first Pro Tour and Jake takes the win here for Team Centum of all, right?
Nice.
It's a very elusive
His first winning the first Pro Tour, I think it's going to be like a story for... We kind of happened what we talked about. Like we had an half-an-hour game followed by a 3-minute game or whatever. All right, guys. Before we head out, we have these last 4 packs.
We want to see you cheer up. Come on, this is the end of MagicCon Barcelona.
Thank you for watching.
It's so difficult.
For you to see that we don't take any home. This is all.
All right. I think I have to throw them, right? I have to throw them in the air.
Yeah, this is like in the weddings.
All right,
all the brides, come on.
Don't kill each other, though.
Who's taking the bouquet? Who's taking the one ring?
All right.
This is it for us. Thank you so much. It was MagicCon Barcelona. Congratulations to our champion,
I hope you
Jake.
enjoyed. And again, congrats to Jake. Sure.
Yeah, of course. Come up.
Thank you.
An unbelievable run. An unbelievable run. It's very few and far between that you see on the Pro Tour. Players in their first Pro Tour do well, let alone win the thing. These tournaments are very hard. Some of the game's absolute best. It took them a while to get started here. Now, of course, we've seen sustained success by your Johns and your Kais and your PVDDRs of the world. But to come here and break the door down, it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, and just from what I've seen over the course of this weekend, in terms of just Jake's level of play and excellence, I'm really excited to just continue to watch this guy play Magic.
This is a career to watch, and it's just getting started. We are going to throw things over to our news desk. That, of course, is Maria, Mani, and Will.
Hey, thanks so much, Cedric, Marie, Monty, and Will here at the news desk with you. What an incredible tournament we've had so far this weekend. Congratulations to Jake Beardsley, our champion, and what a finals it was. Monty, final thought from you.
Look, Barcelona and the Pro Tour has had no shortage of miracles. When Alexander Hayne won in 2012, that was a literal miracle. When Thoralf Severin won Pro Tour Hogak in 2019 with Tron, that could be considered a miracle. And this weekend, when Jake Beardsley wins right on his birthday, in his first Pro Tour in Barcelona, well, that's a bit of a miracle too.
Yeah, I agree with you, Monty. What an utterly fantastic weekend from Jake. You got a chance to talk to Jake early on in the tournament, didn't you, Will?
I've been talking to him all weekend long, from the players' party to yesterday to today to now. I can't wait to go give him a hug, say happy birthday to him. 269 to 1 odds of winning this Pro Tour. He managed to pull it out of the bag, one and done, easy. Now he gets to run away with that trophy. I'm so stoked the Cinderella story played out all weekend long. I'm almost emotional about this.
Just incredible stuff, everybody. All right, it's time to award that trophy. And for that, I'm going to send it on over to Riley Knight.
Thank you very much, Maria. Yes, I'm here with our latest Pro Tour champion, Jake Beardsley. Jake, congratulations. A performance from you that will live long in the memory. I want to get a couple of thoughts from you, of course, on what must be one of the most incredible days of your life. You've played Magic for you started playing when you were 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you what it feels like to be here. Because first of all, I bet you're just happy to be here at the Pro Tour. And then you were just happy to be here in the top 8. How does it feel to be here as a Pro Tour champion?
It hasn't hit me yet. I'm in complete disbelief. I have no idea when it's going to hit me, but I forgot I even got a trophy. But I'm elated just to get to play more Magic. That's why I'm here. It's why I've played the game for 20 years, and I'm really excited to keep competing with the best players in the world.
Well, look, we can't wait to see you do it. I want to talk about the final, and of course, I'm going to ask you game number 4. You're sitting there with the Croxer. You've got the Bolt in hand. Calc passes the turn. When he passed the turn with that one card in hand, what was going through your mind?
Please be a Boseiju. Please be a Boseiju. Please just be a Boseiju. But seriously, I think the way I played it was actually an error given what I drew. I think I was supposed to play Orcish Bowmasters that turn instead, but at that point it was just play it and hope, Bolt, play it and hope. The game had kind of gotten away from me a little bit, and I mean I was almost just glad to be in it that well for a mulligan to 5.
Well, it was an incredible game. This is a game that's going to live a long time in the Pro Tour annals because you really put on a show. But at the end of the day, you took it out in 3 games to 2 before we present you with the trophy. And of course, I hope you haven't forgotten about the 50K that comes with it, my friend. Who is there that you'd like to thank on this momentous occasion?
My girlfriend Claire, she is incredibly supportive. She flew all the way to Barcelona with me. Now, the Barcelona vacation part, we don't need to talk about that. But just staying here in a convention center with a bunch of Magic players, to make sure that I remember to do important things like eat food and drink water was everything, and you mean everything to me.
What a lovely moment, my friends, and there remains nothing more for us to do than congratulate our Pro Tour champion, Jake Beardsley, the recipient of this trophy and $50,000. My friends, put your hands together for the Pro Tour, the Lord of the Rings champion, Jake Beardsley.
Congratulations to our Pro Tour, the Lord of the Rings champion, Jake Beardsley. As we say goodbye to beautiful Barcelona, Spain, we look back on all of the action we saw this weekend. 269 players walked into the tournament hall on Friday, each one believing that there might be a chance they could be the one to hoist that trophy and take the title. One by one, the rounds came and went, from an incredible journey to Middle-earth with draft in the mornings, to a bevy of builds with so many decks in Modern in the afternoons. The players battled it out on Magic's biggest stage. Some of the greats of the game rose to the top alongside up-and-comers and longtime grinders. But as the dust settled, there was one player and one deck that came out on top. Huge congratulations to our champion, Jake Beardsley with Rakdos Evoke. His first Pro Tour, his first top 8, and on his birthday weekend too. For the players, the crew, the casters, and myself, thank you so much for watching this weekend. Next up, we'll see you in Vegas this September for the World Championship and more Magic: The Gathering.